The realm of trees descends upon the Douluo Continent. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 51: Distributing Immortal Items. What? Yang Wudi's attention was entirely focused on the celestial herb, and he didn't hear Ningfengzi's words clearly for a moment. After thinking about it carefully, he found it unbelievable. Yang Wudi turned to look at Ningfengzi, then at the celestial herb in Li Sun's hand. He stood up abruptly, his face showing anger. Brother Fengzi, are you joking with me? Ningfengzi's smile remained unchanged. Although he didn't know what kind of herb Li Sun was holding that could attract Yang Wudi's attention, causing the other party's reaction to be less intense than he had imagined, as long as this initial stage passed and Yang Wudi didn't get up and leave, there was still room for discussion. Brother Yang, please calm down. Why don't you sit down and listen to me explain? Yang Wudi glanced at everyone present, then at the celestial herb in Li Sun's hand, and slowly sat back down in his chair. Brother Fengzi, I know you wouldn't speak without reason, but this matter is truly difficult for me to accept. Yang Wudi gripped the armrest of his chair tightly. Because of the feud between the Spirit Hall and the Clear Sky sect, many of our breaking clan have sacrificed themselves. It's understandable that we can't avenge the Spirit Hall's power. But if we join the Spirit Hall, how can I face the fallen members of my clan? I would rather die in battle than agree to this. Ningfengzi sighed slightly. Brother Yang, I am aware of your feud with the Spirit Hall. In fact, the feud isn't just between the breaking clan. Even Uncle Jian and Senior Douluo have grudges against the Spirit Hall. Ningfengzi stood up from his chair. It's just that the Spirit Hall is simply too strong, so strong that even the combined forces of the three upper sects are no match for them. If the Spirit Hall launches a war, with our current strength, we simply cannot stop them. Under these circumstances, we can only seek change. Hearing Ningfengzi's words, it seemed that it wasn't as simple as just joining the Spirit Hall. Yang Wudi's emotions eased somewhat, and he waited quietly for what Ningfengzi would say next. Xiao Sun just came up with a very interesting idea. Ningfengzi saw that Yang Wudi showed no sign of leaving, and knew things were looking promising. He smiled and walked over to Li Sun, patting him on the shoulder. Xiao Sun said he wants us to join the Spirit Hall, and then slowly develop the Spirit Hall into the 7-treasure glazed tile skull from within. Yang Wudi was taken aback. He hadn't expected such a method. However, their clan had fought against the Spirit Hall and knew far more than the average person. Yang Wudi pondered for a moment. This method seems feasible, but it's difficult to implement. You don't really know the power of the limit Douluo. Back then, only Tang Chen could fight Jin Douluo. Now that the Clear Sky sect is closed off, as long as Jin Douluo is still alive, it will be difficult to change the Spirit Hall. Ningfengzi frowned. Jin Douluo is indeed an insurmountable obstacle for everyone. A Soul Master's lifespan increases to about 300 years upon reaching the Titled Douluo realm. Jin Douluo is only 100 years old. If no one killed him, he would have a long time left to protect the Spirit Hall. Although Sword Douluo is very strong, it's still unknown whether he can break through to the limit Douluo level. Teacher, Senior Yang. Seeing that his teacher and Yang Wudi seemed to be seriously considering this method, Li Sun was overjoyed. Now, all he needed to do was build confidence in everyone. As long as his teacher wasn't stubborn and gave him some time to develop, anything was fine. Jin Douluo is indeed very strong, but he can't withstand the passage of time. New talents emerge in every generation. Jin Douluo won't always be the strongest. Not to mention our generation growing up, even you all have the opportunity to touch his realm. Li Sun took out the immortal herbs one by one from his soul tool and carefully placed them on the table. These are all immortal herbs. Some can improve the quality of martial souls, and some can increase cultivation speed. Taking these immortal herbs won't allow you to reach the limit Douluo level, but it's still possible to surpass your current realm. When your generation protects us younger generation as we grow up, do you think we combined won't have the strength to compete with Jin Douluo? Immortal herbs? Everyone stood up and stepped forward to look, except for Douluo, who remained seated with a smile. Speaking of which, we have to thank Grandpa Douluo. These herbs all come from his herb garden. Sword Douluo and the others looked at Douluo upon hearing this. Douluo smiled and stroked his beard. Haha, actually, this has little to do with me. I only learned that these are celestial herbs from Xiaosun's explanation. Moreover, Xiaosun helped me a lot, and this is his deserved reward. Ning Fengzi and the others smiled at each other as they saw the two of them taking credit for each other. Teacher, this is the Kilo tulip. Li Sun smiled and picked up the tulip, handing it to Ning Fengzi. It is the king of celestial herbs, and it has a very strong amplifying effect on treasure-type martial souls. If you consume it, teacher, your martial soul will be able to break through the limits of the 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda and become the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda. Ning Fengzi's hand trembled as he took the celestial herb. Xiaosun, are you serious? After receiving an affirmative answer, he fell silent. You should give this immortal herb to Rongrong. Ning Fengzi sighed, a fleeting look of conflict crossing his face. Rongrong possesses innate soul power at level 9. Her talent is arguably the best in the history of the 7 treasure glazed tile school. If she obtains this immortal herb, she will definitely go further than me in the future. Ning Fengzi placed the Kilo tulip into Li Sun's hand. Seeing Ning Fengzi's expression, Li Sun didn't try to persuade him further, instead handing him the longing dew. How could he let his teacher go empty-handed when everyone else had immortal herbs? As for the Kilo tulip, if it were the brainwashed, ungrateful wretch from the original story, Li Sun certainly wouldn't have given this immortal herb to Ning Rongrong. But after years of subtle influence, Ning Rongrong had changed. It seemed he could only find another way to help his teacher overcome this shortcoming. Li Sun thought to himself. His teacher had treated him well. The 7 treasure glazed tile school's money could be spent freely. When he bullied Ning Rongrong, Ning Fengzi would just laugh and watch the show. Even some of the strategies he came up with wouldn't be rejected outright just because he was young. Ning Fengzi held the autumn water dew, taken aback. Xiaosun, what's the use of this immortal herb, teacher? This immortal herb can strengthen mental power when consumed. If one has cultivated pupil power, there's a certain chance of gaining X-ray vision. Li Sun blinked and chuckled. He figured X-ray vision might be useless to his teacher, so he didn't intend to elaborate. As your mental power increases, your control over distractions should become more effortless. Ning Fengzi looked at the immortal herb in his hand and smiled with satisfaction. Watching the autumn water dew slip away like that, Yang Wudi's eyes twitched violently. He felt that giving this immortal herb to Ning Fengzi was a complete waste. If it were given to a soul master with pupil techniques or mental power, that person would experience a huge improvement. Grandpa Sword, this immortal herb is called Narcissus Jade Bone and Muscle. Li Sun ignored Yang Wudi and handed the herb to Sword Douluo. Your martial soul is already at its peak. Further enhancement won't be of much use. This immortal herb can unblock the 8 meridians, accelerate cultivation speed, and make your martial soul more agile and faster. Perhaps you can break through on the spot after consuming it. Sword Douluo had been stuck at the peak of level 96 for many years, without any opportunity to break through. Now that he had obtained this immortal herb, he could break through this limitation in one fell swoop, without having to wait until he lost his hand in battle to break through. Moreover, with a baptism of the medicinal effects, he might not be unable to touch the threshold of level 98 or 99 in the future. Seeing Sword Douluo immediately consume the celestial herb, Bone Douluo quickly stepped forward. Little Soon, although Grandpa Bone rarely goes out with you, I've always taken good care of you. You can't let old sword man leave me too far behind. Li Sun laughed heartily. I remember you, Grandpa Bone. This herb, called the 8-petaled celestial orchid, has a mild and stable medicinal property with a strong after effect, very suitable for your martial soul. This celestial herb was the one Oscar consumed, which accelerated his later cultivation speed to a certain extent. Otherwise, with a cultivation speed of a food-type martial soul, he didn't know how long it would take him to reach the Titled Douluo level. Bone Douluo immediately consumed the herb. He didn't want to be left too far behind by Sword Douluo. Li Sun turned his gaze to Yang Wudi. He had once told Tang San that Yang Wudi was stubborn and unyielding, his only weakness being his obsession with medicine. Coincidentally, he had medicine on hand now. Chapter 52 Yang Wudi joins the clan. Yang Wudi looked at Li Sun's smiling face, lost in thought. The spirit wall was powerful. A direct confrontation would undoubtedly result in defeat, and joining the spirit hall was a mental hurdle he couldn't overcome. However, Li Sun and Ning Fengzi's plan to dismantle the spirit hall from within did indeed have some merit. Then there was the immortal rank. Boy, you want to lure me with an immortal rank? Yang Wudi's face darkened, and he coldly snorted. How could he, the patriarch of the Broken Clan, bow down for a mere immortal rank? Li Sun smiled and shook his head. Senior Yang, this junior had no such intention. Even if you hadn't come today, I would have used the immortal herbs to enhance the strength of my teachers and the others. Your presence was merely a coincidence. Yang Wudi's expression softened slightly. You're quite sensible, kid. If you had tried to blackmail me with the immortal herbs just now, I would have turned around and left. Li Sun picked up the coxcomb phoenix sunflower and the fragrant silk immortal herb from the table and handed them to Yang Wudi. Senior Yang, please choose one. However, this junior would like to add something. Your soul-breaking spear is strong, but it's not yet at its peak. The coxcomb phoenix sunflower is extremely yang and has the effect of removing impurities from your martial soul. After you consume it, your martial soul might even evolve. Yang Wudi looked at the two immortal herbs so close to him and was conflicted. If possible, he wanted both. But that was clearly unrealistic. Let alone both, even just taking one of them felt like a hot potato. Kid, aren't you afraid that the immortal herbs you gave me will go to waste? Yang Wudi struggled to look away from the immortal herbs. What's a mere immortal herb? Even if you don't join the 7 treasure glazed tile school, at least we're not enemies, right? Li Sun smiled. Yang Wudi laughed heartily. If you say a few more words, I might just join the 7 treasure glazed tile school. This junior does indeed hope you join the 7 treasure glazed tile school. Li Sun slowly wiped the smile from his face, his expression sincere. This is not only for us, but also for the Breaking Clan. To put it bluntly, this junior doesn't want to wake up one day to find the Breaking Clan surrounded by a dozen or so titled Doulos from the Spirit Hall, does he? Yang Wudi frowned. Though arrogant, he wasn't without sense. What Li Sun said was indeed a possibility, and even without a dozen or so titled Doulos, just 2 or 3 members of the Breaking Clan would inevitably meet their doom. Although I am the clan leader, joining the 7 treasure glazed tile school is not a decision I can make on my own. Let alone joining the Spirit Hall. Yang Wudi took the fragrant silk immortal item from Li Sun's hand. But I myself can have a nominal position within the 7 treasure glazed tile school. Although the Broken Clan was abandoned by the Clear Sky sect, some elders still cherish old friendships. These people are stubborn and inflexible. While they wouldn't be so easily persuaded by the Clear Sky sect, getting them to join other sects or the Spirit Hall would definitely cause conflict. Senior Yang alone is enough. Li Sun's eyes lit up as he turned to Ning Fengzi. The 7 treasure glazed tile school isn't planning to go to war with the Spirit Hall, so why would they need so many people? He only needed Yang Wudi. With the 7 treasure glazed tile school supporting him, Yang Wudi could be used as a title, which is far better than a bunch of low-level soul masters. Haha, with Brother Yang joining us, our plan will definitely be more successful. Ning Fengzi was overjoyed to see Li Sun's smug expression and cupped his hands in thanks to Yang Wudi. Good news kept coming one after another today. If the situation weren't so dire, he would have loved to send out invitations to showcase the 7 treasure glazed tile school's current strength. Brother Fengzi, should I inform the other 3 clan leaders? Yang Wudi returned the greeting with a smile. Their individual martial souls were extreme, not particularly outstanding on their own. But when they united, they feared nothing, not even the lower 4 sects. No, Ning Fengzi and Li Sun exchanged a glance and shook their heads. Brother Yang, our plan can't be completed overnight. The more people who know, the greater the risk of exposure. Yang Wudi frowned. But what if the Spirit Hall wants to attack the other 3 clans? Ning Fengzi hesitated. He also found this problem thorny. Joining the Spirit Hall and gaining influence wasn't something that could be done immediately. The 2 sides would need to negotiate and discuss some conditions. If one of the 3 upper sects were to directly offer themselves to the Spirit Hall, even a fool would find it suspicious. However, unexpected events are inevitable during this tug of war, and if they intervene prematurely, they might even find themselves on the opposite side of the Spirit Hall. Seeing Ning Fengzi's predicament, Li Sun quickly spoke up. Senior Yang, there's no need to worry. I think it's still a long time before the Spirit Hall launches its attack. Though the tiger is dead, its might remains. Although the Clear Sky sect has closed its mountains, it can still deter the Spirit Hall for some time. As long as they haven't ascertained Tang Chen's fate, they won't dare to act rashly. Li Sun paused. If it really comes to the Spirit Hall's move, it's better for us to feign accepting the 3 clans than to directly expose our intentions to the Spirit Hall. Their concerns were too far-fetched. There were still many years before the Spirit Hall established its nation and launched a war. However, he couldn't say this directly, so he could only answer indirectly. That's the only way, Yang Wu sighed. He found it rather laughable. Their 4 great clans had been greatly oppressed because of the Clear Sky sect's sudden closure of its mountains. The reason the Spirit Hall hadn't destroyed them was because of the Clear Sky sect's formidable strength. He was now somewhat confused about whether the Clear Sky sect was strong or weak. Ningfengzi pondered for a moment and nodded. Given the Spirit Hall's current pope, Bibi Dong's powerful methods, if it weren't for the Clear Sky sect's power, he couldn't imagine what the other party would care about. Now, they could only pray that Tang Chen was still alive. That way, their 7 treasure glazed tile school wouldn't have to prepare for the worst. Ningfengzi and Yang Wu remained silent, lost in their own thoughts. Li Sun was unaware of their speculations. Although he knew a lot, much of it was unspeakable, so he could only watch. Douluo was even less involved. He was a wild Douluo and never participated in such matters. Just as the group remained silent, a powerful burst of soul power suddenly erupted from Sword Douluo's body. Under the surge of this soul power, the surrounding tables and chairs creaked and scattered in all directions. The 3 of them immediately turned their gazes to Sword Douluo. Grandpa Sword, we're about to break through the level 96 barrier, Li Sun smiled. Titled Douluo are divided into 3 levels, ordinary, super, and ultimate. Below level 95 are ordinary Titled Douluos, and levels 95 to 98 are super Douluos. Level 95 is a watershed between titles. After that, each level increase brings a portion of their soul power into their body, increasing their strength by 1 level. This continues until the soul power is completely integrated with the body, reaching level 99, the ultimate Douluo. Now, Sword Douluo has broken through to level 97, his soul power condensed within him. Only a handful of people on the continent can surpass him. Moreover, there's still plenty of time. Perhaps by the time the Spirit Hall is established, Sword Douluo might even break through to level 98. Just then, something strange happened around Bone Douluo. Chapter 53 Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo's Breakthrough. Bone Douluo was also enveloped in a thick layer of soul power. While not as imposing as Sword Douluo, his aura was steady and powerful. Break. Bone Douluo's eyes snapped open, a phantom of a bone dragon emanating wisps of black mist, seemingly about to emerge from the void. With a roar, his soul power seemed to solidify, suppressing everything around him, and Li soon felt immense pressure. The unintentional release of power by a super Douluo was already beyond the resistance of a low-level soul master. This power was too overwhelming. Li soon felt his bones creaking. Just as he gritted his teeth and persevered, Douluo and Yang Wu arrived before him. The pressure on Li soon instantly dissipated. Ningfengzi also felt unwell and quickly moved closer. Haha, old swordsman, I've finally broken through to level 96. Bone Douluo's face lit up with joy, and his aura vanished instantly. He was only 1 level lower than the old bastard in terms of soul power, yet he had been suppressed for many years. Now, he had finally broken through the threshold of level 95 and experienced the thrill of level 96. Bone Douluo stood up and looked at Sword Douluo, who was breaking through. He really wanted to rush up now and teach this swordsman a lesson. Congratulations, Grandpa Bone, congratulations. Just as Bone Douluo was beaming with joy and immersed in everyone's congratulations, Sword Douluo's 7-kill sword suddenly erupted with a sharp sword intent. This sword intent was chilling and bone-piercing, making people feel fear. The pressure was far greater than that of Bone Douluo. Li soon poked his head out from behind Poison Douluo. As expected, those who break through later are stronger. Feeling this aura, Bone Douluo sighed, feeling unwilling. He had already missed the best opportunity to teach the old bastard a lesson. Finally, I've broken through. Sword Douluo slowly opened his eyes. A strand of hair moved without wind, and his aura was ethereal and otherworldly. The 7-kill sword floated beside him with its cold light concealed. After consuming the Narcissus jade bone and muscle, he immediately felt his 8 extraordinary meridians become incredibly unobstructed. Even some meridians he had never been aware of before were now clearly perceptible. This strange feeling gave him enlightenment, thus allowing him to successfully break through. Congratulations on your breakthrough, Grandpa Sword, Li soon smiled broadly. Joining the 7 treasure glazed tile school had its drawbacks. The pressure of the soul hunting operation had long been like a small mountain, weighing heavily on Li soon's mind. The method he had painstakingly devised for Ningfengzi seemed feasible, but its practical implementation was still uncertain. Now, this pressure eased with the successive breakthroughs of Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo. Little soon, thanks to this immortal herb, otherwise I don't know when I would have had the opportunity to break through this level. Sword Douluo sighed with emotion. He was now close to his father's realm. Grandpa Sword, while immortal herbs are excellent, your previous accumulation was also crucial, Li Sun chuckled. Although the medicinal properties of immortal herbs were powerful, they couldn't instantly elevate a Super Douluo's level. Otherwise, after consuming 3 of these, his level would have instantly jumped to Soul Master and Soul King. Yang Wudi was filled with astonishment. He had come to the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School today to collect his share of the cooperation, but he hadn't expected to encounter so many things. First, he learned of the true strength of the Spirit Hall, then Li Sun brought out numerous immortal herbs, and now he had even witnessed 2 Titled Douluo breaking through. To be honest, he now somewhat regretted choosing the fragrant silk flower immortal herb. With his knowledge of herbs, how could he not know the effects of the coxcomb phoenix sunflower? Yang Wudi glanced at the immortal herb in his hand, ultimately feeling somewhat reluctant to part with it. Teacher, what's wrong? Li Sun looked at Ningfengzi. At this moment, Ningfengzi was already somewhat unable to control his expression. The events at the Spirit Hall had greatly impacted him. Although he was worried, he still restrained himself somewhat in front of everyone, which was the image he had cultivated as the head of a sect over the years. Nothing, teacher is just happy. Ningfengzi tried hard to suppress his smile. Now that both your Grandpa Sword and Grandpa Bone have broken through, our chances are much better. Li Sun's plan seemed feasible, but it was extremely difficult to implement. The Spirit Hall had many titles, and Ningfengzi didn't know where Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo ranked among them. After all, strength was the key to influence. Without sufficient strength, one couldn't even have a say in the Spirit Hall, and might even be subject to others' orders. Now, with Sword Douluo's breakthrough, this last concern was thrown to the back of Ningfengzi's mind. A level 97 Titled Douluo was undoubtedly one of the strongest. Congratulations to you both, Douluo smiled and cupped his hands in greeting. Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo's breakthroughs had also significantly impacted him. He hadn't expected the medicinal properties of immortal-grade medicine to be so powerful. Lucky, haha, we also owe a debt to Poison Master's herb garden. Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo returned the greeting with smiles. Poison Master had become a retainer of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, and the two were now colleagues. Their relationship had unknowingly grown much closer. Douluo laughed heartily, pondering the soul tool for a moment. That was Xiao Sun's reward. It has nothing to do with me. Now that the matter is settled, I want to take Xiao Sun back to Xiandao Academy. His heart was burning with excitement. This trip not only provided a cure for the toxins in his and his granddaughter's bodies, but also yielded 2 immortal herbs. Thinking of the scene of the two breaking through, Douluo couldn't wait to grab Li Sun and return to Xiandao Academy. Xiao Sun said these 2 immortal herbs might be able to evolve his and Yan Yan's martial souls. Douluo's heart blazed with excitement. Senior Douluo, please take Xiao Sun back, Ningfengzi said, a thought stirring within him. Douluo had previously mentioned that Li Sun had helped him greatly. It seemed this matter wasn't over yet. Haha, then I'll take Xiao Sun and go first. Douluo was in high spirits, pulling the resistant Li Sun along, leaving the main hall, and soaring into the sky. The two returned to Xiandao Royal Academy late at night. Douluo carried Li Sun straight to the academy's dormitory. Knock knock knock. Yan, Grandpa's back. Douluo knocked on Yan's door with a smile. Yan opened the door sleepily. What is it, Grandpa? 2 days had passed since she was poisoned, and because she understood the flaws in her martial soul, she hadn't paid attention to what Douluo was doing. Grandpa brought you something good this time. Douluo stroked his beard and entered the room. Grandpa, is the good thing you're referring to Li Sun? Yan was now a bit more awake and pointed at Li Sun in Douluo's hand, laughing. Ahem, this kid's talking nonsense. This is a lesson for him. Douluo put Li Sun down. Li Sun swayed to the chair and slumped down on it. Grandpa Douluo, if I hadn't gotten rid of you from the ice and fire yin yang well, would you have let me consume those 2 immortal herbs? On the way back, Douluo had suddenly asked him how to refine dragon's tears and dragon's heart blood. His mind went blank mid-air, and he couldn't think of a way to fool Douluo. Although he recognized the immortal ingredients, he had no idea how to refine them. He simply used whatever was written in the book. As a result, He was exposed after just 2 sentences. Then how is the strengthening and detoxifying pill made? Douluo asked, somewhat puzzled. Chapter 54 Douluo's Breakthrough. Although I can't make medicine from celestial herbs, I can certainly make medicine that's similar in quality, Li Sun said weakly. He couldn't admit that he had crushed the 9th grade purple Ganoderma, kneaded it with starch, and then dehydrated it. Making medicine here was very troublesome. This was just a rough idea based on modern medical research. Anyway, the effects were the same, so it was easier this way. Of course, Li Sun used less starch in the medicine for Du Guyan. So how should we take these 2 celestial herbs? Douluo placed the 2 herbs on the table. Du Guyan took tea and poured tea for both of them, looking curiously at the 2 herbs on the table. Did you go out just for this? This was just an unexpected gain. Douluo stroked his beard. Yan, the biggest gain for this trip with this kid is that we found a way to cure the azure scale serpent venom in our bodies. What? Du Guyan looked surprised and doubtful. Her father and mother had died from venom, and even her grandfather, who held a title, was helpless against it. Du Guyan had long since resigned herself to the poison in her body. Now, Douluo's sudden claim that he had found an antidote made her momentarily think she was hallucinating. These 2 immortal herbs are one of the antidotes. Douluo took 2 soul bones from his soul tool and placed them on the table, then recounted the whole story. Soul bones, the yin-yang well of ice and fire, are mortal herbs? Du Guyan looked at Li Sun with some sadness. Brother Li Sun, if only you had appeared sooner, then her parents might not have died. What a coincidence. Li Sun scratched his head, unsure how to comfort her. Ahem, Yan, take a look at these 2 immortal herbs first. Seeing his granddaughter's bad mood, Douluo quickly pushed the 2 immortal herbs forward. Little Sun, which one do you think is suitable for Yan? He then took out the medicine-making tools that Li Sun had asked him to buy, his tone full of threat. I think dragon heart blood is suitable for Sister Yan. Li Sun pondered for a moment. Dragon tears contain the essence of the dragon race, and its greatest effect is to enhance spiritual power. If it doesn't improve the quality of her martial soul after consumption, then the improvement for Sister Yan will be negligible. Dragon heart blood contains a trace of the dragon race's bloodline. Even if Sister Yan doesn't improve her martial soul after consuming it, it can still greatly improve her physique. Physique is directly linked to the number of soul rings that can be absorbed. The stronger the physique, the higher the upper limit of soul rings that can be absorbed. Du Guyan's current priority is definitely to acquire soul rings. Li Sun felt that the physique improved by a trace of the dragon race's bloodline would definitely be more effective than whale glue. It's time to arrange whale glue for Sister Yan too. Li Sun thought to himself. Now that Douluo and his grandson are members of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, he certainly can't skimp on the benefits they deserve. After all, the stronger they are, the stronger the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School will be, and the stronger the sect will be, the stronger Li Sun will be. He won't lose out no matter what. Du Guyan held a dragon heart weeping blood in her hand. Brother Li Sun, do we eat this directly? Sister Yan, do you see that flower bud that looks like a heart? You just need to absorb the essence within. Li Sun pointed to the celestial medicine and explained to Du Guyan. Du Guyan no longer hesitated and gently sucked the essence from the flower heart with her mouth. As the medicinal properties of the celestial medicine entered her body, a burning sensation instantly spread throughout Du Guyan's body. She was startled and quickly sat cross-legged to absorb the medicinal power. Grandpa Douluo, Sister Yan will probably need a long time to absorb it all. Why don't you take the celestial medicine now? Li Sun turned to look at the nervous Douluo. Alright, Douluo calmed his tense emotions. He had already seen Sword Gallo and the other 2 take the celestial medicine at the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School and knew that this was something that couldn't be done by just worrying from the sidelines. Grandpa Douluo, the essence of this dragon's tear is all in its fruit. You just need to swallow the teardrop-shaped fruit. Douluo nodded and swallowed the teardrop. Li Sun watched the 2 absorbing the immortal herbs and forced himself to stay alert. He knew about these 2 immortal herbs from a book, but they were different from the ones Tang San and the others had verified. How much they could improve their appearance could only be determined by the final result. Actually, there were other immortal herbs in the ice and fire yin-yang eye, such as the sweet potato golden dragon and the black jade divine bamboo. However, he only knew their names and had never seen any information about them, so he dared not rashly pick them and distribute them to everyone. The time spent waiting alone was very long. Li Sun had not slept for a day and a night. Just when Li Sun was about to lose his eyelids, Douluo Yan suddenly opened her eyes. "How is Sister Yan?" Li Sun's spirits lifted. He wanted to know the specific medicinal properties of the two immortal herbs. Douluo Yan slowly stood up and stretched her body. "My soul power has increased from level 29 to level 30, but I won't know the exact increase until I acquire a soul ring. However, I have a vague feeling that my soul power has increased by about 5 levels. Have your martial soul and physical attributes changed?" Li Sun asked with concern. "After consuming the immortal medicine, my martial soul felt like it had been burned, tempered by the medicinal power." Douluo Yan summoned her martial soul, and the originally dark green jade scale serpent had turned crimson red, with 2 small, short horns growing from its head. "My martial soul is now called Crimson Serpent Dragon. My talent hasn't changed, except that a trace of fire poison has been mixed into my original azure serpent venom. This fire poison doesn't affect me personally, it can even suppress the azure serpent venom, preventing it from spreading within my body. More importantly, the Crimson Serpent martial soul is slowly improving my physical body." Douluo Yan smiled. "I think that once I absorb 1 or 2 soul bones, I won't have to worry about the azure serpent venom anymore. Thank you, Li Sun." Li Sun smiled and nodded. After all, it wasn't like he was eating a dragon, it was a divine item derived from a dragon. This effect was already quite powerful. At this moment, Douluo also opened his eyes. Perhaps due to the effect of the dragon's tears, his eyes now contained a sharp light that made people afraid to look directly at him. His temperament had also changed, and he even exuded a faint air of nobility. "Grandpa Douluo, how are you feeling?" Li Sun circled around Douluo. Although Douluo's appearance hadn't changed, his energy and spirit made him seem to be getting younger with age. "Haha, kid, my soul power has reached level 93, Douluo laughed loudly. His cultivation had been progressing slowly, stuck at level 92 for many years. Now, with this breakthrough, he felt much more relaxed. He broke through already? Li Sun was a little confused. The breakthroughs of Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo were so grand, how come the old poison master completed it so quietly? Seeing Li Sun's expression, Douluo's eyes narrowed, exuding an aura of authority. "What's with that expression, kid? Aren't you satisfied with my breakthrough?" "Satisfied? Of course I'm satisfied. I was just awestruck by the aura you exuded during your breakthrough." Li Sun forced a smile and quickly clapped his hands. Douluo thought of the scenes when Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo broke through and nodded with a smile. The aura that these Titled Doulos inadvertently revealed was indeed a great pressure for low-level soul masters. Douluo Yan covered her mouth and chuckled to herself, not saying anything more. She was afraid that if she spoke, Li Sun would get a beating. "By the way, Grandpa Douluo, how are you feeling now?" Li Sun quickly changed the subject. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Scheming for an Opportunity. Let me see. Douluo summoned his martial soul and sensed its state. "My martial soul is still the Azure Phosphorus Serpent Emperor, but there's a change within me that I can't quite put my finger on." The dark green color of his Azure Phosphorus Serpent hadn't changed, only the scales were denser and softer, and upon closer inspection, it seemed as if a layer of fluorescence covered its surface. "That shouldn't be the case," Li Sun frowned. "After consuming a celestial grade item, you only increased your soul power by 1 level. That's clearly not right. Sense it more carefully." The dragon's tear could help Douluo increase his soul power and break through bottlenecks, clearly indicating it wasn't a support-type celestial grade item, but Li Sun observed that Douluo's only change was in temperament, without any other significant improvement. Douluo nodded, then entered a deep state of perception. A short while later, an astonishing energy fluctuation suddenly erupted from Douluo's body. This energy wasn't soul power, but spiritual power. This spiritual power was incredibly powerful. Li Sun and Douluo Yan were instantly stunned, trembling and unable to move. The spiritual power that Douluo unconsciously emitted didn't harm their physical bodies, only causing pressure on their souls. Did the celestial herb elevate the old poisoner's spiritual level? Li Sun tried to move his fingers. His initial shock at Douluo stemmed from the suddenness of the event. After a brief period of adjustment, Li Sun could move his body slightly. It seemed Douluo's spiritual level posed no threat to him. Through the pressure, Li Sun could vaguely sense his own spiritual sea. Perhaps due to having died twice, he felt his sea of consciousness was immense, the light emanating from its interior like a blinding sun. Li Sun turned to Du Yan. Don't panic. Du Yan was trembling, her eyes darting around, unable to move. Seeing Li Sun turn to look at her, her pupils contracted. Li Sun grinned, revealing his white teeth, and slowly rose from the chair, enduring the pressure. This was also a good opportunity for cultivation. This pressure affected his spirit and soul. Once he adapted to this pressure, he wouldn't be as immobilized as before when facing similar dangers. After all, in a life-or-death battle, a single moment could decide a person's fate. Moreover, absorbing a 10,000-year soul ring requires enduring soul shock, so this is actually a good opportunity for training. Douluo's mental pressure didn't last long. Once he was familiar with the changes in himself, he opened his eyes and saw Li Sun doing push-ups. What are you up to now? Li Sun smiled and slowly got up. Just exercising. Douluo looked at him suspiciously, but didn't ask any further questions, stretching his body. Kid, I feel like my mental strength has been enhanced. Douluo was in a very good mood. His 8th soul skill, Time Freeze, and his soul bone skill, Medusa's Gaze, consumed not only soul power but also mental power. This enhancement in mental power was undoubtedly a significant boost for him. Congratulations, Grandpa Douluo. Li Sun smiled and took a towel from the bathroom, handing it to Du Yan, who was covered in cold sweat. Yan, what's wrong? Douluo asked with concern. Grandpa, you unconsciously released too much mental power just now. Du Yan's tone was somewhat aggrieved, her beautiful eyes involuntarily glancing at Li Sun. She had just been paralyzed by the mental pressure, yet Li Sun was still able to train under that immense mental pressure. What a monster! Douluo said ingratiatingly. Grandpa didn't mean it. He only had one granddaughter, whom he doted on, but he never expected that his breakthrough would almost injure Du Yan. Looking at the happy grandfather and granddaughter, Li Sun smiled. Although he had his own motives for approaching them, the result was fortunately acceptable. Li Sun, though self-serving, was definitely not an extremely selfish person. Now, the poison in their bodies was no longer a problem, and their strength had increased due to their immortal status. Li Sun felt that what he had done was probably a tiny bit better than Tang San's. This world of comparing who's worse. Thinking of the image of Tang San pointing a hidden arrow at him in the soul-hunting forest that day, Li Sun sighed inwardly. He needed to improve his strength as quickly as possible. That way, even if Tang San marked him with a path to death, he would have to surpass him in strength first. However, with a master's theoretical support, Tang San lost his chance, and the blue-silver grass was essentially useless. Of the many opportunities, he had already intercepted the ice and fire yin-yang well. What remained were the 8 spider lances, the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone, the blue-silver king, and the spirit condensation wisdom skill from the soul master competition. Shrek Academy only had 5 monsters left. Whether they could even participate in the soul master competition was questionable. He could try killing a few human-faced demon spiders with the 8 spider lances. The blue-silver king could be considered as his soul ring. As for how to absorb it, that would require the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone. This leg bone possessed extraordinary self-healing abilities and could be used to heal others. Tang Hao's severed limb was restored by Tang San using his soul bone skills. This soul bone might be useless to others, but for Li Sun, it was incredibly powerful. He had the self-healing and healing abilities of wood release. If he added the blue-silver emperor's leg bone, as long as he wasn't immediately overwhelmed and exploded while absorbing the soul ring, he should be able to survive. Most importantly, his leg bones possessed the innate ability to fly. He was fed up with traveling with Douluo and Sword Douluo. Dispelling his thoughts, Li Sun didn't disturb Douluo's family time any longer. It was almost dawn. Li Sun, exhausted, slowly opened his dormitory room door. He hadn't slept for a day and a night. Douluo had brought him back in such a rush, and being carried around to shield him from the wind was uncomfortable. All he wanted now was a good night's sleep. The door creaked open, and he closed it behind him. By the moonlight, Li Sun slowly walked to the bedside. What are you two doing in my room? Li Sun casually tossed his coat onto a chair. By the moonlight, he could clearly see 2 small heads peeking out from the bed. This is our room. Zhu Xiaogang and Ning Rongrong, wrapped in blankets, looked at him with teary eyes. Li Sun paused, then looked around, Pointing to several items on the bedside table, Ningrong, are you itching for a beating? All my things are here. For a moment, he even wondered if he had come to the wrong place. Brother, have you forgotten? This was originally my room. Ningrong's eyes darted around, muttering softly. When the two of them first arrived at the Heavenly Douluo Royal Academy, this room was hers. However, she was afraid that she would insist on living with Li Sun, so the dormitory was left empty. Later, Zhu Xiuqing came, and the two of them chased Li Sun from their own place to this empty dormitory. How, do you think your brother is a mouse that you can chase around like that? Li Sun sneered, a thin twig appearing in his hand. I originally brought you 2 gifts, but now the gifts are gone. All I have left is this. He casually waved a twig in his hand, making a whooshing sound in the air. Zhu Xiuqing was not as thick-skinned as Ningrong. Her face flushed, she slowly lifted the covers and got off the bed. At this moment, Zhu Xiuqing was only wearing pajamas, her perfect curves displayed to their fullest extent by the rather form-fitting garments. Seeing Zhu Xiuqing walk up to him, Li Sun lessened the force with which he swung the branch. Spending so much time with Ningrong, even you're starting to go bad. Chapter 56 Heartbreaking Red of Longing. Li Sun gently rubbed Zhu Xiuqing's head. The usually quiet girl had become a little rebellious under Ningrong's influence. Zhu Xiuqing blushed and lowered her head, about to walk towards the door. Li Sun pressed her head down, turned her shoulders so she faced the bed. Go to sleep, I'm going to the next room. Smack. He then lightly tapped Zhu Xiuqing's buttocks with a branch in his hand. Zhu Xiuqing's brain buzzed, feeling a slight burning sensation on her face and ears, and she walked towards the bed in a daze. Brother, you said you brought a gift? Ningrong, seeing Li Sun turn to leave, quickly got off the bed and grabbed Li Sun's arm. Where's the gift? I've been chased away by you every day, and you still want a gift? Li Sun glanced at Ningrong's fawning manner. Brother, Ningrong called out sweetly, swaying her arms from side to side. Feeling the touch on his arm, Li Sun was slightly lost in thought. The two had practically grown up together, living together for a long time. The little sprout from before had grown up. The gift is a bit special, it's not just for you two. I haven't slept for a day and a night. I'll give it to you as soon as I wake up. Li Sun looked exhausted, he felt like he could fall asleep standing up. He simply didn't have the energy to explain the immortal items to them. Ningrong looked at Li Sun with a slight pang of heartache. She didn't know what Li Sun had gone out to do, but it seemed like it must have been very difficult. She had been with Li Sun for several years, and this was the first time she had seen him so exhausted. Brother, you stay here. Xiuqing and I will go next door. Ningrong took Li Sun's arm and led him to the bed. At this moment, Xiuqing also came to her senses and quickly got off the bed to make it. At least you two still have some conscience. Li Sun smiled slightly, flopped onto the bed, and his eyelids began to close uncontrollably. Seeing Li Sun's exhaustion, Xiuqing pursed her lips, walked to his side, and took off his shoes. Seeing this, Ningrong quickly reached out, and the two of them together straightened Li Sun's body. Very good, just what I wanted. Enjoying the two women's service, Li Sun's spirits soared, and he smiled as he took out 3 immortal herbs from his soul tool. A reward? Brother, is this the gift you brought? Ningrong looked at the 3 immortal herbs, slightly puzzled. She didn't recognize herbs, and she had only glanced at the books Li Sun had collected over the years, showing no interest. Yes, this one is called Kilo Tulip. It's for you. Li Sun lay on the bed and handed over the immortal herbs. The Kilo Tulip, the king of immortal herbs. After absorbing it, the user gains the ability to absorb the essence of the sun and moon, and it has miraculous effects on treasure-type martial souls. After eating it, your 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda should evolve into the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda. Ningrong was startled and quickly reached out to catch it. Brother, does my father know? At least she's not an ungrateful wretch. She still thinks about your father. Li Sun smiled. Teacher already knows, don't worry. At this moment, Li Sun was truly delighted. Ningrong's question meant that his efforts over the years had not been in vain. If it were the original Ningrong, she would never have thought of her doting father. Let alone Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo. Even when the 2 Douluos died, she didn't seem to look back. It was Ningfengxia who silently collected the fragments of their bodies. After instructing Ningrong on the steps to consume it, Li Sun looked at Zhu Xiuqing. Here are 2 immortal herbs. Li Sun, without changing his lying position, handed over the immortal herbs in his hand. The one on the left is called Lovesick Heartbreak Red, and the one on the right is called Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower. Zhu Xiuqing reached out and took the two immortal plants with a puzzled look. Brother Li Sun, why do I have two? Hearing this, Ningrongrong couldn't help but look over. Actually, there's only one. Li Sun chuckled. The Lovesick Heartbreak Red is a supreme treasure among immortal plants. Not only can it comprehensively enhance a soul master, but it also has the miraculous effect of bringing the dead back to life and healing flesh and bones. However, to consume this immortal plant, one needs to gain its approval, which involves a tragic story. Zhu Xiuqing's eyes reddened as she listened to the story of the boy and the flower fairy. To pluck the Lovesick Heartbreak Red, one must think of the one they love and stain the petals with their blood. If one's heart is not sincere, even if one bleeds dry, one will not be able to take the immortal plant. The reason Li Sun introduced the Lovesick Heartbreak Red first was because Zhu Xiuqing had missed it once in the original story, when it was obtained by Xiao Wu. He wanted Zhu Xiuqing to try again. As for who she was thinking of, that was another matter. And even if she couldn't remove it, there was still the Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower as a backup. As for why he didn't give Zhu Xiuqing the Narcissus Jade Bone from the original story, it was because Li Sun felt that to achieve great things, the overall situation should be prioritized, and improving the strength of Sword Douluo and Bone Douluo was the most important thing. The Narcissus Jade Bone seemed to fit Sword Douluo's ethereal temperament perfectly. The Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower was extremely yang and could purify martial soul impurities, but Sword Douluo's 7-kill sword martial soul was already at its peak, so its effect wouldn't be significant. As for why he didn't give Sword Douluo and the others the Love Sickness Heartbreak Red, well, several grown men thinking of their lovers, taking turns dripping blood to bind themselves to their masters, it was quite an eyesore. You can try. If you can't remove it, then consume that Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower, Li Sun pointed. The Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower, though a treasure for fire attribute soul masters, should also improve your abilities if you consume it. Zhu Xiuqing nodded, looking at the two immortal herbs in her hand. She wanted to ask something more, but then realized Li Sun had fallen asleep. Zhu Xiuqing waited a while, and seeing that Li Sun was truly asleep, she gently sat down beside the bed, her mind drifting back to the story of the boy and the flower fairy. After a moment's thought, she placed the Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower aside and focused solely on the Acacia Heartbreak Red. A drop of blood gently slid down. The Acacia Heartbreak Red floated down. Zhu Xiuqing quickly caught it, her eyes filled with disbelief. She cautiously glanced at Ningrongrong, who was absorbed in the immortal herbs and hadn't noticed what was happening here. She pursed her lips. Li Sun didn't know how long he had slept, only that his whole body ached. This was a symptom of lying down for too long. Slightly adjusting to the sunlight in the room, Li Sun slowly sat up. But his gaze inadvertently fell upon the Coxcomb Phoenix Sunflower on the bedside table, causing him to pause in surprise. She took off the Heartbreak Red, Li Sun exclaimed incredulously. At this moment, Zhu Xiuqing and Daimube were far apart and had no interaction, and he himself didn't seem to be having any romantic relationship with Zhu Xiuqing. Who was he thinking of? Li Sun rubbed his face and quickly got up to wash. He was worried that the two had taken the immortal medicine incorrectly and needed to check on them. It was noon, and the Heavenly Dower Royal Academy had just finished its afternoon classes. Li Sun's hurried manner immediately startled a group of people. Most of these students had witnessed Li Sun beating up Yu Shai and Heng, and even those who hadn't were usually warned by their classmates. At this moment, Zhu Xiuqing and Ningrongrong were walking slowly towards them. They saw each other from a distance. Ningrongrong's eyes lit up, and she rushed towards them. Zhu Xiuqing, her face slightly flushed, stopped. Brother, you're awake. This is a newbie's post. Please read, vote, and recommend. Thank you all. Chapter 57 Nirvana Ninetales. Ningrongrong ran to Li Sun and leaped onto him, then planted a big kiss on his left cheek. Brother, my martial soul has evolved. It's now the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda, Ningrongrong shouted excitedly. The 7-treasure glazed tile pagoda, due to its inherent flaws, could only be cultivated to level 79, a level her father, Ning Fengzi, had been stuck at. Now that her martial soul had evolved into the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda, it meant she had likely overcome its limitations and could potentially cultivate to the level of a Titled Douluo. It was lunchtime for the students. Ningrongrong's shouts successfully attracted the attention of the students. Upon seeing Ningrongrong clinging to Li Sun, their expressions changed, and they quickly turned away, pretending not to see her. They were afraid Li Sun would cause them trouble. After all, the scene of Yu Xianheng lying bloodied on the ground was still vivid in their minds. "Is the gift your big brother brought you good?" Feeling the soft touch on his cheek, Li Sun chuckled and turned his right cheek away. "Okay." Ning Rongrong immediately understood Li Sun's meaning. She glanced furtively at the crowd around them, her face instantly turning bright red. She had only kissed Li Sun in a moment of excitement. Now, realizing what she had done, she wished she could disappear into the ground. "Where did your enthusiasm go?" Seeing Ning Rongrong's shy expression, Li Sun squinted and laughed, about to put her down. Ning Rongrong, still blushing, glanced around again and quickly gave Li Sun a light, quick kiss on the right cheek. Then she quickly got off Li Sun, turned, and ran back to the dormitory. "This little brat," Li Sun chuckled, watching Ning Rongrong's escape. Zhu Xiuqing had regained her composure and walked gracefully to Li Sun's side. "Brother Li Sun, thank you. Did you take the immortal medicine?" Li Sun looked Zhu Xiuqing up and down. Zhu Xiuqing was wearing a black bodysuit, which accentuated her figure, perhaps due to early development. At first glance, she didn't seem much different, but Li Sun, who was often in contact with her, noticed a slight difference. Before, Zhu Xiuqing's figure made her look somewhat alluring, not bad, but not profound enough. But now, she possessed an ethereal quality. Hearing Li Sun's question, Zhu Xiuqing's usually cool face flushed slightly. She nodded without speaking. She truly didn't know how to face Li Sun. "How much soul power do you have now? Has your martial soul changed?" Seeing Zhu Xiuqing's awkwardness, Li Sun smiled slightly. "We'll talk as we walk." After speaking, Li Sun turned and walked towards the dormitory. Zhu Xiuqing's lips curled into a smile, and she quickly followed behind Li Sun. "After taking the Acacia Heartbreak Red, my soul power increased to level 30, and I feel that the speed at which I condense soul power during cultivation has also increased significantly." Her previous soul power level was level 22, but after taking the immortal grade product, it directly reached level 30. As long as she obtains a soul ring, she can enter the soul venerable realm. The effects of this medicine far exceeded Zhu Xiuqing's expectations. She didn't expect Li Sun to give her something so precious. The Acacia Heartbreak Red provides a comprehensive boost, increasing soul power by about 10 levels. You've already reached the level cap. So there should still be some soul power that needs to be revealed after obtaining a soul ring. Li Sun turned to look at Zhu Xiuqing. It can increase soul power by 10 levels. Zhu Xiuqing was taken aback, just as Li Sun turned around. Upon meeting his gaze, she quickly lowered her head. "Why do you think it's considered a supreme treasure among immortal items?" Li Sun said with a smile. "It can bring the dead back to life and heal flesh and bones. Enhancing soul power is just one of its most insignificant effects. This thing has saved the lives of many people: Tang Sen, Dai Yuhao, Wang Chu, Tang Wulin. In fact, the entire Tang Xianwang family relies on it to survive." I thought that was just an exaggeration by this immortal item. Brother Li Sun, wouldn't it be a waste for me to just eat it like this?" Zhu Xiuqing's heart tightened. "You can keep it. Being a soul master is never a safe profession. Every time they acquire a soul ring and fight, they face a life or death test. If they could possess something that could save their lives in crucial moments, it would undoubtedly add a layer of protection on their long path of cultivation. Don't waste it if you eat it." Li Sun stopped and turned to Zhu Xiuqing. "Xiuqing, remember, treasures aren't for display, they're for people to use. Use them to increase your strength as soon as possible. As long as you're strong enough, you'll never need this to save your life." Seeing Li Sun's serious expression, Zhu Xiuqing's lips curved into a slight smile, then she quickly pursed her lips. "I know, brother Li Sun." Li Sun ruffled Zhu Xiuqing's hair. "When you're happy, you should act happy. Why are you always so serious? Humans have emotions and desires. If you never show your joy, anger, sorrow, or happiness, you'll become expressionless." Li Sun didn't want to face an expressionless Zhu Xiuqing. Zhu Xiuqing smiled and nodded softly. "You just said your martial soul has also evolved." Zhu Xiuqing's smile made Li Sun's heart skip a beat. He coughed lightly and turned to continue walking towards the dormitory. "My martial soul is now called Nirvana Nine-Tailed Fox." Mentioning her martial soul, Zhu Xiuqing looked at Li Sun's back with tender eyes. "Nine-tailed Nirvana? 9 tails? Has it evolved into Nine-tailed Cat Demon?" Li Sun was stunned and turned around abruptly. The mention of 9 tails immediately brought to mind the 9-tailed cat demon. After all, this kind of monstrous beast was very famous. Zhu Xiaogang revealed a serene smile. It has grown 9 tails, but it's not called a 9-tailed cat demon. I was quite startled at the time. To help Li Sun understand more clearly, she summoned her martial soul. Meow! Suddenly, a rose gold paw extended from the void, followed by a small cat head with a laurel wreath cautiously peeking out, looking around. After sensing no danger, the rose gold cat quickly leaped onto Zhu Xiaogang's shoulder. Only then did Li Sun see its full appearance. This 9-tailed cat's entire body was rose gold, with a huge gem on its chest, adorned with shimmering starlight, like wearing a magnificent gemstone scarf. And behind it stood 9 illusory tails. The 9 tails, when spread out, resembled a blooming flower, a noble feather fan, each one seemingly adorned with precious jewels. Hiss! Li Sun gasped. The 9-tailed cat demon was a legendary monster, but in Zhu Xiaogang's eyes, it seemed like a revered divine beast. Seeing Li Sun's surprised expression, Zhu Xiaogang smiled warmly and gently raised her shoulder. The kitten immediately understood and pounced into Li Sun's arms. Li Sun quickly caught it with both hands, carefully stroking its ears as if handling a precious treasure. This cat looks exceptionally noble. Does it have any special talents? Chapter 58 Buddha's Pagoda, the Measure of Compassion. The 9-tailed cat thoroughly enjoyed Li Sun's petting, rubbing its head against his palm, seemingly indicating a need for more pressure. Haha, good. Li Sun no longer held back, his movements becoming more vigorous. Zhu Xiaogang, seeing this, was delighted. It gave me a talent skill, 9 lives rebirth, which ensures I can revive 9 times. And each resurrection will increase my strength, but the price is that after 9 deaths, my martial soul will disappear. She was also surprised when she learned that her martial soul had evolved such a talent. She had thought it was a hidden talent of the netherworld cat. But based on what Li Sun had just said, she understood that it was simply the medicinal properties of the acacia heartbreak red being reflected in her martial soul. Li Sun looked at the obedient little cat in surprise. This talent is quite good, 9 lives. As long as one doesn't do anything reckless, wouldn't that guarantee lifelong safety? Zhu Xiaogang followed Li Sun upstairs, and the forms of my previous skills have also changed. Skills like Nether Thrust now have an effect that's somewhere between illusion and reality, and they're no longer limited to close combat. They've become energy blades. Blink? That's strong too. Li Sun gently rubbed the kitten's brow with his fingertips and placed it in Zhu Xiaogang's arms. The two ascended the stairs. Li Sun walked slowly ahead, with Zhu Xiaogang following behind. Upon reaching the last step, Li Sun's thoughts stirred, and he sighed seemingly unintentionally. Truly a supreme treasure, its effects completely surpass other immortal items. It's just that the difficulty of obtaining it is a bit harsh. Zhu Xiaogang, behind him, blushed instantly, her hands unconsciously rubbing the kitten, unsure what to say. Reaching the corner, Li Sun glanced at it out of the corner of his eye and understood, chuckling to himself. He opened the door. There, he saw Ning Rongrong sprawled lazily on the sofa. Brother, why are you two so slow? I've been back for ages, Ning Rongrong complained without looking up. Li Sun casually tossed his coat onto Ning Rongrong's head. I asked Zhu Qing about the effects of the immortal medicine on the way. You just like to bully me. Ning Rongrong crumpled the coat into a ball and used it as a pillow. When she saw Zhu Xiaogang enter the room, she looked at her suspiciously. Xiaogang, why is your face so red? Nothing. Zhu Xiaogang finished speaking and quickly went into the bathroom, clicking the door shut. Ahem. Wrong, look at yourself. Your martial soul has just evolved, it's time for you to be diligent. How did your cultivation go today? Li Sun criticized Ning Rongrong, who was still slumped over, with a look of exasperation. Brother, what's wrong? Didn't I just finish my morning class? Ning Rongrong looked at Li Sun in disbelief and let out a strange cry. Support-type soul masters cultivate much slower than ordinary soul masters. If you don't put in some effort, how will you catch up? Li Sun stretched and sat down next to Ning Rongrong. Having been together for several years, Ning Rongrong knew exactly what to expect and quickly got up, fawning massaging Li Sun's shoulders. Brother, is this pressure okay? A little more, Ning Rongrong pouted, increasing the pressure in her hands. Over the years, she had received many criticisms and lectures, even being hit with small branches at the worst times. She had protested with her father and others, but all she got in return was being told to remember her lesson. Later, she learned this move by chance, which reduced the bullying she received. Brother, my martial soul has evolved. I know to use more force on the left side. Aren't you curious? No, just keep this pressure. Li soon closed his eyes, comfortably enjoying the massage. Martial soul evolution was inevitable. What was there to be curious about? Ninrongrong pursed her lips, then beckoned to Li soon, presenting the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda. Take a look. Li soon obligingly opened his eyes, but was instantly captivated. He felt a faint connection with the pagoda, a connection so subtle it would be imperceptible unless he were looking directly at it at such close range. A thought struck Li soon, and he immediately summoned his martial soul. The moment the 1,000-handed Buddha and the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda came close, the connection intensified dramatically. Though still fragile, it was now clearly perceptible compared to before. Martial soul fusion technique. Li soon was taken aback. Only a martial soul fusion technique could explain this reaction. But how could he, with twin martial souls, react to Ninrongrong? He didn't know the 7-in-1 martial soul fusion technique either. What is a martial soul fusion technique? Ninrongrong asked, puzzled. She had never learned about this before, and the academy hadn't explained it. Li soon pondered for a moment and explained it to her. Ninrongrong suddenly understood and jumped off the sofa with great joy. Brother, let's try it out and see what our skills are. Okay, I also want to see what skills we can fuse together. Li soon nodded. Zhu Xiaogang heard Ninrongrong's cheerful voice from the bathroom and came out curiously. Seeing the two slowly fusing their martial souls, she pursed her lips. Li soon heard the noise and glanced at Zhu Xiaogang, a thought flashing through his mind. Now that Zhu Xiaogang's martial soul had evolved, he wondered if she could still fuse with Daimyo. Probably not. The Nirvana 9-tailed fox looks noble, while the white tiger is much lower in grade. It's better if the tiger is dead. Li soon's mind raced. Perhaps there was still a difference in the quality of their martial souls, as the fusion between the two was not very smooth. After half a day of experimentation, they finally fused together. At this moment, the two arms at the front of the 1,000-handed Buddha held a 9-story exquisite pagoda in one hand and formed the willow seal in the other. Buddha holds the pagoda, a compassionate crossing. As the martial soul effect entered Li soon's mind, he began searching his already limited Buddhist knowledge. Buddhist pagodas come in 7, 9, and 13 stories. It is said that saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. In Buddhism, 7 symbolizes the number of heaven and the 7 emotions, hence the name pagoda, floating pagoda. 9 stories symbolize the 9-petaled lotus, a symbol of merit and wisdom. Under normal circumstances, their martial soul fusion skill would likely be a skill for saving lives. But unfortunately, Ninrongrong's martial soul had evolved to 9 stories, and Li soon's Buddha was not a proper compassionate Buddha. Their martial soul fusion skill was merely a restrictive skill. Its purpose was to use illusions to evoke the things that people with obsessions or evil intentions least wanted to see, such as birth, old age, sickness, death, separation from loved ones, and unfulfilled desires, and then guide them out of suffering, using compassion to influence them. Of course, simply imprisoning someone would not be enough to influence them. They also needed to undergo a little test. And as long as one passes the test, even if they don't achieve enlightenment and become a Buddha, they will at least become a good person with a heart full of kindness. Dispersing his martial spirit, Li soon silently uttered Amitabha. However, their current levels weren't high enough to restrict others for very long, only about 2 or 3 seconds, but this time would increase as their levels rose. Brother, this skill seems to just lock people up and pull them into an illusion. It doesn't do any damage, Ninrongrong said, feeling a little disappointed. She was a support-type soul master and dreamed of having an offensive skill, but now, through martial spirit fusion, she had finally gained an extra one, which turned out to be a restrictive soul skill. This made her slightly disappointed. Wrong. Sometimes the damage inflicted on the mind is far more profound than the direct physical harm, Li soon said with a loving expression, gently stroking Ninrongrong's head. Buddha is merciful and does not wish for bloodshed. Chapter 59 Shrek's Fraudulent Gang. Young Master, Shrek Academy, which you asked me to inquire about, is about to start recruiting. Aunt Zhu walked into the dormitory with a stack of documents in her hand. Why are you concerned about a village-run academy? Li soon chuckled. Aunt Zhu, I heard that this academy only accepts monsters, so I'm a little curious. Young Master, you don't want to join this academy, do you? Aunt Zhu looked puzzled and spread the documents out in front of Li soon. I advise you to give up that idea. This academy seems a bit shady. Their motto is those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre, but they probably don't know the next line, those who go looking for trouble are fools. According to the information I've collected, this village-run academy has a very high mortality rate. Since its founding, it has admitted 64 outstanding students, but only 14 have graduated. The rest either died while hunting soul beasts or were forcibly expelled before the age of 20 because their soul power hadn't reached level 40. Li Sun feigned surprise and quickly picked up the documents on the table. Aunt Zhu, with such a low mortality and graduation rate, why are there still students applying? Hearing this, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Xiuking's curiosity was piqued, and they stopped their cultivation and gathered around the table. This was the first time they had ever heard of an academy suffering more than half its students' death or injury. Was this academy raising poisonous insects? Because they were engaging in false advertising? Aunt Zhu frowned slightly, pulled out a yellowed page from a pile of documents, and handed it to Li Sun. According to the information, Shrek Academy hasn't registered its establishment in any kingdom or empire. Furthermore, Shrek's teachers are suspected of deceiving their students. According to their own claims, 14 graduates from previous years became world-renowned figures after leaving the academy, with the most outstanding among them becoming the youngest elder of the Spirit Hall, second only to the Pope. Aunt Zhu sneered, perhaps I'm just ignorant, but I've never heard of any of these big shots from Shrek, and do you know what level second only to the Pope would be? At least a Super Douluo level, and I only know of 2 elders like Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Xiuking looked surprised. Wasn't this a blatant fraudulent academy? How can anyone believe such exaggerated claims? Li Sun frowned, looking puzzled. My young master, there are always some people in this world who aren't very smart, they believe whatever others say. Aunt Zhu scoffed. Only after being truly deceived do they realize their mistake, but unfortunately, it's too late. Those students who died didn't even have the chance to regret it. Ning Rongrong covered her mouth in surprise, and after calming down, asked, Aunt Zhu, shouldn't the graduation requirement for Shrek Academy be level 40 Soul Master? Shouldn't the soul ring obtained at that level be a 1,000-year-old one? Don't the teachers at this academy even have the strength to hunt 1,000-year-old soul beasts? Li Sun was also startled by Ning Rongrong's probing question. When did this girl develop a brain? This is not good. Aunt Zhu smiled coldly and found the Shrek Academy faculty list in the documents. The reason this trash academy can deceive students into enrolling is not only because of its external propaganda, but also because of its faculty strength. Shrek Academy has 3 Soul Saints and 2 Soul Emperors. The 3 Soul Saints are level 78 Four-Eyed Cat Owl Flander, level 75 Immovable King Zhao Wuji, and level 71 Candy Bean Xiaozin. The 2 Soul Emperors are Li Yusong, a level 63 Dragon Pattern Staff user, and Lu Kibin, a level 66 Star Luo Chess user. Zhu Xiuking frowned. This kind of teaching staff is more than capable of hunting 10,000-year-old soul beasts. Don't these teachers escort students to obtain soul rings? Miss Xiuking, if Shrek Academy truly had teachers who cared about the lives of their students, there wouldn't be such a high mortality rate. Aunt Zhu sighed. Alice. These children will only know what they will face once they enter the academy. If they are lucky enough to survive and graduate smoothly, then congratulations to this lucky one. He will be the elite student that the academy publicly proclaims. Ning Rongrong was amused by the last sentence. Then aren't these people so stupid that they would be fooled and still help the other party count the money? Indeed, quite stupid. Li Sun nodded at Ning Rongrong. Don't worry, Aunt Zhu, I won't join Shrek Academy. I just have something to take care of. You can decide for yourself, but I have one more thing to say. This academy is terribly poor. They can't even guarantee nutritious meals for the students. I don't know how lazy these teachers are. Aunt Zhu nodded disdainfully. She said all this to give Li Sun a heads up. After all, young people like Li Sun are easily provoked by competitiveness, and Shrek Academy's propaganda is so exaggerated, as if you're not a monster if you don't enter this academy. By the way, young master, this is the information you asked me to collect about blacksmiths near Holy Soul Village. Aunt Zhu peeled a stack of documents and placed it in front of Li Sun. After Aunt Zhu left, Li Sun sorted through the documents. He ignored the blacksmith's information, which was part of his prepared explanation for future actions, and instead picked up the Shrek Academy's information. He was so focused on it mainly because of Tang Hao and his son, and secondly because of Dai Mubei. Li Sun and Tang San were the same age. If he remembered correctly, Tang San entered Shrek Academy at the age of 12. He didn't care about Tang-san or Shrek Academy. Li Sun's main target was Tang Hao and the Blue-Silver Emperor's right leg bone. In Li Sun's memory, Tang Hao first left the vicinity of Holy Soul Village around this time. Tang Hao escorted Tang-san to school and beat up Xiao Wuji. He wanted to take advantage of the gap while Tang Hao was escorting Tang-san to find an unclaimed 100,000-year-old soul bone in the wild. "Brother, are you really going to Shrek Academy?" Ning Rongrong stared at Li Sun with her big, watery eyes. Even Zhu Xiuqing looked at him curiously. After learning about Shrek Academy's many misdeeds, they couldn't understand what else this academy could offer Li Sun. "Take a look at this," Li Sun said with a smile, handing a document to Zhu Xiuqing. Zhu Xiuqing took the document with a puzzled expression, and frowned after reading its contents. Seeing this, Ning Rongrong couldn't resist her curiosity and leaned closer. "Hey, Daimyo Bei? Isn't that the prince Xiuqing is betrothed to? Tisk, quite the playboy prince. And this guy named Ma Hongjin is even worse." The paper clearly listed the information of Shrek Academy's current genius students: Yu Xianheng, Yi Lingling, Daimyo Bei, Ma Hongjin, Oscar, and others. They didn't care about Yi Lingling and the others, but the other three Shrek Academy members successfully caught their attention. Daimyo Bei was the most outstanding. The information showed he was already a well-known playboy in Soto City, extremely generous with women, and never bothered them after a breakup. In his words, women weren't considered people, but resources. If there were no resources, he could just find more. The information also showed that Daimyo Bei averaged 3 dates a day with different beauties, and was a regular VIP at the Rose Hotel in the city. And no matter how full the hotel was, they always reserved a room for him. Recently, he even dated 2 sisters, and the 3 of them had been going in and out together for a week. As for Ma Hongjin, the information was outrageous. This document reveals that his martial soul is named the Evil Fire Phoenix, which possesses a significant flaw: he is frequently plagued by evil fire. His method of releasing this evil fire is, shockingly, engaging in sexual activity with women in the dark. This has led him to become a regular at brothels. Up to this point, the information is understandable, as life and death are often at stake. However, this guy, perhaps due to premature maturity, has developed a taste for this, and he flirts with women whenever he sees them, his eyes darting around. More importantly, his soul saint-level teacher seems to be condoning this behavior, which has emboldened him even further in the surrounding area. Chapter 60 Soto City. The most normal-looking person in the information is Oscar. His spirit soul is sausage, and although he's had a few girlfriends, his reputation is decent. "What do you think?" Li Sun asked, resting his chin on his hand and looking at Zhu Xiuqing. They'd been together for over 3 years, and Li Sun had grown accustomed to Zhu Xiuqing's presence. This girl, though not talkative, was meticulous and kind-hearted, cold on the outside but warm on the inside, and diligent in both cultivation and daily life. Aunt Zhu didn't come to the academy often, so Zhu Xiuqing usually took care of most of Li Sun and Ning Rongrong's chores. While there was some element of gratitude involved, over time these things had become a habit. This information was here for 2 reasons: first, to provide an excuse for the upcoming action, and second, to resolve Zhu Xiuqing's engagement. To give her complete freedom would also relieve her of her burdens. However, the journey to Xingluo was long, and his current strength wasn't enough to overpower the Xingluo royal family, so he planned to deal with Daimyo Bei first. "Brother Li Sun, my mother always taught me not to care about a man's womanizing ways. As long as he's not lewd or a dissolute playboy, it's a minor issue." Zhu Xiuqing's brows relaxed as she smoothed her long hair behind her ear, looking at Li Sun with gentle eyes. "As long as this man can protect me in crucial moments and be a true, upright man, that's enough." "Hiss, you mean?" Li Sun was somewhat confused, his mind a jumble of surprise and bewilderment. Seeing Li Sun's bewildered expression, Zhu Xiuqing smiled and waved the documents in her hand. "After you told me about the deeper meaning behind my elder sister's pursuit of me, I have no further connection with him. The only reason I felt uncomfortable was because I was still engaged to this kind of guy." Zhu Xiuqing put down the documents, a warm smile appearing on her face. "Brother Li Sun, if you hadn't saved me back then, I might still be caught up in the power struggles within the royal family. Perhaps, to survive, I would have compromised with this frivolous fellow." Zhu Xiuqing felt fortunate that she had met Li Sun and come to the Heavenly Dao Empire with him. She had been shocked when she first saw the documents. 15 years old, 37 levels of soul power? Dating 3 girlfriends a day? Extravagant spending? Constantly surrounded by beautiful women? What else could a man who only knew how to indulge in pleasure be but a wastrel? Did he know he couldn't win and just wanted to enjoy himself for as long as possible? And it seemed that Yubei had never considered his own fate in Starluo. Zhu Xiuqing crumpled the documents into a ball and threw them into the trash can at her feet. She smiled brightly at Li Sun. Brother, you won't blame me for throwing the documents away, will you? She and Yubei had once been bound by fate, but once that bond was broken, their paths crossed again. Her mother had taught her that if she couldn't marry a real man, it was better to remain unmarried for life. Zhu Xiuqing had once deeply agreed with this. But after 3 years of life or death struggles in Xingluo, and then 3 years of peace and tranquility in Xiandao, she now had a different perspective on her mother's words. Why remain unmarried for life? Why not just find a good man to marry? Why should she suffer for a lifetime for a good-for-nothing who was good for nothing? It's just a piece of paper, I just didn't understand what you meant. Could you please explain it more clearly? Li Sun smiled and leaned towards Zhu Xiuqing. The food in the cafeteria isn't good. I'm going to buy some ingredients to cook. Zhu Xiuqing stood up abruptly, quickly turned and walked out. Only her earlobes, exposed by her hair, were slightly red. Seeing Zhu Xiuqing fleeing as if by magic, Li Sun grinned, leaned back, and stretched. Having gotten the answer he wanted, he felt incredibly refreshed. Brother, I didn't quite understand either, Ningrongrong said, looking at Li Sun with a puzzled expression. Is Xiuqing still worried about the engagement? Didn't you say that everything would be fine once the time Yubei died? Li Sun had discussed this with Zhu Xiuqing when she first arrived at Xiandao. Over time, she had almost forgotten about it. That was true before, Li Sun said with a smile. Now, whether Dime Yubei lives or dies is irrelevant, it mainly depends on his own choice. If he chooses wrong, I'll be unhappy, and he'll die. If he chooses right, well, it depends on my mood. Li Sun paused slightly at this point. Brother, what is he going to choose? Ningrongrong scratched her head in frustration. Can't you just say what you mean? Li Sun stood up and patted Ningrongrong's head, looking her up and down. You're still young, you have room to grow. You'll understand when you're older. Brother, we're all 12 years old, how am I young? Explain yourself. Ningrongrong stood up abruptly and roared as Li Sun opened the door to leave. Zhu Qing hasn't come back from grocery shopping yet. I'm going to pick her up. Do you want me to bring you a bottle of milk and a papaya? Get lost. Looking at the closed door, Ningrongrong looked down at herself. Am I young? Soto City is located in the center of the Lima Plain in the Bara Kingdom, a geographically advantageous location. To the north, the official road leads directly to Xiandao City, and to the southeast, beyond the border, lies the Stardao Great Forest. Shrek Academy is located southwest of Soto City. Li Sun walked slowly alone on the streets of Soto City. Considering he would need to head to Holy Soul Village immediately after Tang San's appearance, he arranged a time with Zhu Xiuqing and Ningrongrong, then asked them to return to their sect to fetch him while he went ahead. This arrangement stemmed from the fact that Zhu Xiuqing and Ningrongrong kept subtly inquiring about his plans for Shrek Academy. Forced into a corner, he lied, saying he was there to take care of some business and acquire a spirit ring. He couldn't very well tell them he was out collecting 100,000 year spirit bones. Ningrongrong, however, remained suspicious and insisted on seeing Li Sun acquire his fourth spirit ring. Even Zhu Xiuqing was skeptical. Li Sun was currently level 38, and considering the boost to his spirit power from the Blue-Silver Emperor's right leg bone, he would inevitably reach level 40 after absorbing it. Therefore, he readily agreed. After all, he couldn't refuse. The three of them had been together for years. What could Li Sun possibly be unaware of? Li Sun also wanted to take this opportunity to sort out Zhu Xiuqing's past. Soto City was a trading city, with shops lining the streets. Li Sun glanced at the surrounding shops from time to time. Soon, a shop came into view. The shop front wasn't large, but the signboard was exceptionally eye-catching for a soul master. An ordinary person would certainly not recognize the meaning of the sword, hammer, and blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex symbols combined on the signboard. But any soul master would know that it was the same as the one carved on the Spirit Hall's special permit token. Li Sun slowly pushed open the shop door. Compared to the bright street, the interior was somewhat dim. A robust man in his 50s was lying on a chair with his eyes closed. The shop had 3 walls, which looked old. To Li Sun's eyes, they were all dilapidated. This must be Flander. Li Sun thought to himself. Not wanting to disturb the unscrupulous merchant, Li Sun scanned the area, finally fixing his gaze on the spot closest to the door. There was a crystal the size of a human head, transparent with some yellow impurities inside. "Boss, how much for this crystal?" "Not expensive, 100 gold soul coins," Flanders said lazily, his eyes slightly open. He then closed his eyes again, rocking the recliner with a creaking sound. "Boss, can you negotiate the price? P.S. Please read on Tuesdays, this is crucial for newbies. Thank you, everyone. QQ Group. 796,065,020. Interested readers can join. Chapter 61 Get Him Done. Li Sun narrowed his eyes and began to haggle. He knew he absolutely couldn't flaunt his wealth in front of Flanders, otherwise he'd only end up spending more money. "This crystal is already the cheapest thing in my shop. If you're not buying it, leave." The chair stopped, and Flanders tilted his head back, remaining motionless. What a rip-off. 1 gold soul coin could support an ordinary family for a month. Li Sun cursed inwardly, then took out 100 gold soul coins from his soul tool and handed them to Flanders. "Boss, you don't have enough money." Before Li Sun could finish speaking, Flanders said calmly. Li Sun rolled his eyes. If he didn't want to intercept the golden dragon beard needle, he wouldn't bother with Flanders. This thing looked harmless but was extremely insidious. Even the immovable King Zhao Wuji couldn't withstand it. If a low-level soul master were shot into the eyes, spine, or other vital parts by this thing, they might suffer a fate worse than death. Most importantly, Tang San should be arriving soon, and he wouldn't let this thing fall into the other party's hands. "Boss, this is exactly 100 gold soul coins." Li Sun feigned anxiety. He was rich, but even with so much money, he shouldn't let Flanders rip him off like this. He had to find a way to get back at him. Flanders remained unmoved. "But I've changed my mind. This crystal is 200 gold soul coins, take it or leave it." "Fine, don't sell it then." Li Sun was somewhat annoyed. "How can you Soto City be so greedy? Everything costs money. I only brought 300 gold soul coins with me when I left home, and I was ripped off 100 of them as soon as I arrived here. Now you're going to rip me off too." That Shrek Academy is probably a shady school too, charging 100 gold soul coins a year for tuition. "I guess all of you in Soto City use the same tricks. I'd better go look around somewhere else, so I don't get ripped off to the point where I can't even afford food," Li Sun said, turning to leave, while subtly revealing the soul tool on his wrist. He silently counted 1, 2. This kid is after Shrek Academy. Flanders' heart skipped a beat, and he instantly stood up from the recliner, sizing up Li Sun. "Hey, little friend, wait a minute, judging by his age, he certainly met the Shrek Academy's admission standards. Moreover, his clothes were clearly not something an ordinary child could afford, and most importantly, he wore a golden bracelet soul tool on his wrist. This outfit alone would easily cost tens of thousands of gold soul coins. A family that could afford so many gold soul coins to dress up a child must have a high-level soul master. And the offspring of a high-level soul master would have a high chance of inheriting their talent. This child might very well be qualified to enter Shrek Academy." Flanders' mind raced for a moment, then he activated his cat-owl martial soul's innate perception ability, carefully listening to the soul power fluctuations within Li Sun's body. "Child, can I feel your bones?" Flanders suppressed his inner elation. Sensing the child's soul power fluctuations, he was actually a soul master of level 37 or 38, and even younger than Daimyo Bei. A true genius. The cat-owl martial soul possesses incredibly keen hearing. At night, it can distinguish its surroundings solely by sound echoes, without needing to see. Just now, it had roughly determined Li Sun's soul power level by listening to the flow of soul power within his body. "You're crazy." "Fine, I won't sell it, but I won't let you touch it." Li Sun shook his head, rolled his eyes at Flanders, and continued walking towards the door. Flanders, alarmed, quickly stepped forward to block Li Sun's path. "Hey, don't go. If you just let me touch this crystal, I'll sell it to you for 100, no, 50 gold soul coins." "What a rip-off. 50 gold soul coins? If you can lower the price, it proves you still have a profit." "I don't want to be ripped off." Li Sun finished speaking and tried to walk past Flanders. He wouldn't do it for free today. "Child, to tell you the truth, I am the dean of Shrek Academy." Flanders pressed Li Sun's shoulder, then sighed. "Actually, it's not just you who thinks Soto City is expensive. Even I'm almost unable to afford it. To be honest, the 100 gold soul coins you students pay when you enroll are simply not enough for daily expenses. That's why I opened this shop to provide nutritious meals for the students. Flander's hand gently kneaded Li Sun's shoulder, his heart pounding. He realized Li Sun was only 12 years old. Daimube was 15 this year, and at level 37 Soul Master, he was already considered a genius. What would a level 38 Soul Master at 12 years old mean? This meant that the other party was likely the fastest Soul Master on the continent to reach the Soul Master realm, and he would also hold the record for the fastest Soul Sect realm attainment. Further cultivation might depend on luck, but it was foreseeable that this child would become a powerful figure in the future. Truly a monster among monsters. Hearing Flander complain about being poor, Li Sun looked skeptical. Really? I don't believe it. Nonsense. Even if Shrek Academy's students only had food for 10 gold soul coins a month, that would only amount to 120 gold soul coins a year. That's enough for 10 ordinary families to live on for a year. Li Sun had reason to suspect that Flander opened this shady inn entirely for his apprentice, Mo Hongjin. After all, a child has no income. Where would he get the money to frequent brothels every day? He almost forgot. The Spirit Hall provides Soul Master subsidies, but places like brothels must be very expensive, right? I don't even know if the subsidy will be enough. Kid, would I, a level 78 Soul Saint, lie to you? Flander tried to calm his excitement, summoning his martial soul. 7 soul rings appeared beneath his feet, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. Since you want to join Shrek Academy, I'll give you this crystal for free. What do you say? You're actually a Soul Saint. Li Sun quickly feigned surprise, covering his mouth. No wonder I heard Shrek Academy can produce the elite of the elite. Of course. Flander proudly twisted his neck, pleased with his words. Li Sun hesitated, becoming somewhat awkward. Let's forget it, Dean Flander. Shrek Academy's funds are so tight that they can't even guarantee students meals. How can I take your things for free? Flander laughed heartily, quickly grabbing the crystal from the wall and shoving it into Li Sun's arms. Don't worry, kid, losing one crystal won't kill you. He was genuinely happy. He hadn't expected this child to be so considerate of the academy even before enrolling. Flander patted Li Sun on the shoulder. If you like it, keep it. You don't need to worry about the rest. Judging by the time, the entrance exams are about to start. Wait for me, I'll go pack my things and take you to the academy in a bit, Flander said, then chuckled and quickly walked into the shop. Why open a shop when you've already acquired a monster among monsters? Seeing Flander enter the shop, Li Sun stored the crystal in his soul tool while slowly backing away. Once he was at a suitable distance, he quickly turned and ran, simultaneously making a hand seal and instantly disappearing from his spot. Only a fool would go to Shrek Academy with you. Li Sun used his teleportation technique, and in a few blinks, he was already far away from the street. He carefully looked around and asked about the location of the Rose Hotel along the way. He quickly disappeared amidst the ambiguous gazes of passers-by. You little brat, how dare you lie to me? A moment later, an extremely angry roar suddenly echoed in the sky above Soto City. I overslept, sorry. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Conspiracy Theories. In a private room of a 2-story restaurant in Soto City, Li Sun opened the window a tiny crack, observing the rose-shaped hotel across the street. Not only did the hotel resemble a rose on the outside, but its colors and decorations were also entirely rose-colored. He was being so cautious because the furious Flander had been circling Soto City several times, oblivious to the danger, all the while cursing and swearing. So stingy, all I did was swindle him out of a single crystal, Li Sun muttered, speechless. The Rose Hotel was very busy, with people constantly coming and going. To avoid missing anyone, Li Sun kept his attention focused on the hotel entrance. After what seemed like an eternity, when Li Sun's eyes began to ache from staring, a man and a woman arrived at the hotel entrance. The man was simply dressed, with a belt adorned with 24 gemstones around his waist, while the woman wore a long braid that reached past her calves. Finally, Li Sun thought, closing his eyes to ease his fatigue. 4 years had passed since he first met Tang San. The growth of a young person is the most transformative force, but Li Sun still managed to identify them by their belts and the scorpion tail braid beside them. Tang San's presence meant Tang Hao would follow. He had tracked. Just as Li Sun got up to call the waiter for the bill, Flanders' angry curses suddenly rang out from the restaurant. How many times has this happened? Doesn't your throat get dry? Li Sun was speechless and sat back down. If he got caught, he'd be lucky to escape with his life, and even if he tried to make amends later, the suffering wouldn't be enough. He'd wait a little longer, there was still time. Li Sun leaned against the window, looking idly across the street. Tisk, that must be Daimyo. He certainly knows how to enjoy himself. Shortly after Tang San and Xiao Wu entered the hotel, a tall young man appeared at the entrance, his arms around two twins. The three flirted openly in the street, showing no regard for the stares of those around them. Their audacity was astounding. After their flirting, the man and two women entered the hotel lobby. I remember Tang San fought with Daimyo over a king-size bedroom, and then they became kindred spirits, Li Sun said, resting his chin on his hand and imagining. What kind of bed would they fight over like that? Is it a waterbed? He was curious. A short while later, the sounds of a fierce fight erupted from the Rose Hotel, growing louder and louder, with hotel items flying everywhere. Listening to the noise from the Rose Hotel, Li Sun calculated the time and called a waiter. After settling the bill, just as Li Sun was about to leave, he unexpectedly spotted Yu Xianheng on the street. Yu Xianheng was walking towards the Rose Hotel, chatting and laughing with a beautiful woman. Li Sun clicked his tongue. Looks like he's learned how to flirt after hanging out with Daimyo. I wonder if he's improved over the years? I'll have to find him sometime. Looking at Yu Xianheng's natural demeanor with the woman, Li Sun thought of Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuking. However, this thought only lasted a moment. I will resolutely follow the path to godhood. How could I be misled by illusions? Li Sun shook his head. The fierce battle inside the Rose Hotel ceased with Yu Xianheng's entry. He wondered what had transpired inside. A short while later, Li Sun saw a large group of people emerge from within. Tang San, Daimyo, and Yu Xianheng walked ahead, chatting and laughing, occasionally letting out hearty laughs, which drew coquettish echoes from the four women behind them. The Shrek 9 monsters, Li Sun's gaze fell upon them, but they were useless. Now that the Phoenix Sunflower was in his hands, Ma Hongjin was practically useless. Oscar's cultivation was slow, and Tang San's blue-silver grass, without the dual immunity to ice and fire, was further weakened by his already poorly chosen spirit rings. Although he still possessed hidden weapons and the clear sky hammer, they were ineffective against someone like Li Sun who could manipulate plants as shields and use wood-release clones. Of the remaining group, besides the useless Xiao Wu, only Daimyo and Yu Xianheng had any decent fighting power. If we replaced two of the original members with two agility-based attackers during battle, the original Shrek 7 Devil's fighting power shouldn't drop too much, but wouldn't some of the original members be sidelined? Li Sun walked out of the restaurant and headed towards the carriage that had been prepared. Master, we're going to Holy Soul Village. Hurry up, or I'll compensate you if the carriage breaks. Holy Soul Village. Li Sun unfolded a map of the surrounding area. This map was made by the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, depicting in detail the mountains, rivers, villages, and towns of the surrounding area. Such maps are generally military maps, and the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School has maps of 80% of the Heavendao Empire, not just the one Li Sun had. First, there are towering mountain ranges and waterfalls. Li Sun circled the approximate area with a marker and then quickly moved forward according to the map's direction. This journey took half a month, and even with Li Sun's strong will, he was somewhat tired. Tang Hao chose a very remote location, a place rarely visited by humans. Even the outermost mountains were too difficult for ordinary people to climb to the top. Li Sun traversed mountains and rivers, encountering occasional attacks from spirit beasts along the way. Although they were all young, he still needed to be constantly vigilant. He felt like a pilgrim on a pilgrimage, facing 81 tribulations. Li Sun climbed tirelessly like a numb puppet. Because of his rush, he was now completely black, somewhat resembling a black monkey. After an unknown number of days, a steep cliff appeared before Li Sun. This cliff was nearly 90 degrees in angle, appearing as a vertical wall from below. Finally, Li Sun murmured, looking up at the precipice and licking his dry lips. Actually, this was the place where Tang Hao and a yin got married, and it was a yin who brought Tang Hao here. But after their marriage, they probably felt it was too safe here and got restless. They went out to have fun again. Sometimes, it's hard to tell if Tang Hao did it unintentionally or intentionally. You should have just taken Yin back to this place to have the baby. Wouldn't that have solved everything? Would the spirit hall have even considered hiding in this godforsaken place? Why did you have to wander around under their noses with a 100,000-year-old spirit beast? What could you do if you went back to the Clear Sky sect? I don't believe your father would kill you and your wife just because you knelt down on the ground. Li Sun angrily plucked a handful of blue silver grass. The whole mess started when Tang Hao, with his level 84 spirit power, broke the leg of a Titled Douluo from the spirit hall while they were out partying. Fearing for the sect's safety, Tang Hao ran away with Yin. Although the spirit hall did issue a decree condemning the Clear Sky sect, they only paid lip service due to the strength of Tang Chen and the sect's former leader. Even more ridiculous, the spirit hall hadn't decided to attack the Clear Sky sect until Tang Hao's father died of anger over the incident. Until Tang Hao took Yin on a wild stroll around the world, attracting Jin's Unji. Tang Hao was afraid of implicating his sect, but the Clear Sky sect was too strong to be afraid of. Even when his father died of anger, the spirit hall still couldn't do anything to the Clear Sky sect. So why did you run away? Are 100,000-year-old spirit beasts extinct in Douluo Continent? The spirit hall was willing to fight the Clear Sky sect to the death for Yin. If 100,000-year-old spirit beasts weren't so tempting and he wasn't just wandering around aimlessly, would he have attracted Jin Zunji? Would the subsequent series of events have happened? Sorry, I overslept. Chapter 63. I know you are still conscious. The 90-degree cliff seemed like flat ground to Li Sun. This was a basic application of chakra. He had mastered water walking and tree climbing techniques years ago. Li Sun moved swiftly up the cliff, and as he neared the top, the roar of a waterfall suddenly filled his ears. A jolt ran through him, and he felt a surge of strength. He quickened his pace, and near the top, he leaped, scaling the cliff face. Standing atop the cliff, a waterfall about 200 meters high and 20 meters wide came into view. This waterfall seemed like a staircase connecting heaven and earth, stretching from the valley to the horizon. Seeing this, Li Sun's weary heart felt a sense of relief. Waterfall, pool, rocks, this must be it, Li Sun thought, looking around. When he saw the rocks opposite the waterfall, he nodded. The mere few dozen meters high of the rock face posed no obstacle to Li Sun's progress. However, as he stood on the rocks, looking at the waterfall opposite, a problem arose. Because he lacked Tang Hao's power to reverse the waterfall, and also lacked Tang San's flying claw, he could only resort to the most rudimentary method. Li Sun pondered this deeply. Li Sun formed hand seals, his soul power and chakra flowing within him. Several saplings sprouted from the reef, then intertwined and rapidly extended towards the waterfall. He planned to build a wooden bridge using plants. Li Sun's third soul ring was the azure vine, whose characteristic was extension. As long as he continuously output soul power, the plants he cultivated would continue to extend outwards. Of course, he couldn't control too many trees with this ability yet. Li Sun's idea was good, but the distance between the reef and the waterfall was too great. Although the bridge could reach the waterfall, it lacked load-bearing capacity and would easily collapse and break under the force of the 200-meter-high waterfall. Left with no other choice, Li Sun returned to the base of the reef and painstakingly built the load-bearing beams. Finally finished, looking at the arch bridge that seemed to connect to the waterfall, Li Sun breathed a sigh of relief. Standing at the front of the arched bridge, feeling the impact of the cascading waterfall, Li Sun wiped the water droplets from his face. He was currently level with the rocks. Just beyond the waterfall lay the cave Tang Hao had found for Yin. The current is too strong, I need to use plants to create a diversion and expose the cave entrance. Li Sun was currently tens of meters in the air. If he didn't immediately enter the cave, he might be swept into the pool by the waterfall and injured. His first spirit ring lit up, and energy seeds transformed into raindrops that rushed towards the waterfall. But the impact of a 200-meter-high waterfall was immense. Before the spirit seeds even reached the back of the waterfall, they were swept into the pool by the rushing water. Got it, Li Sun raised his left hand, and a kunai instantly appeared in his palm. Gathering some nascent life seeds, Li Sun carefully wrapped them around the kunai, found the right angle, and gently pushed it towards the waterfall. The kunai, carrying the seeds, shot out from Li Sun's palm in an instant, passing through the waterfall. Sensing the location of the seed, Li Sun was overjoyed and quickly manipulated his chakra to accelerate its growth. The waterfall, which had previously flowed like a white line, suddenly burst into vibrant green. As the sapling grew larger, the magnificent waterfall seemed to fork, cascading to both sides. Still not entirely satisfied, Li Sun took the opportunity to cultivate several more saplings beneath a large tree, completely obscuring the central flow of water. Everything was ready. Li Sun connected the plants at both ends of the waterfall and the rocks, forming a wooden bridge. He gracefully walked behind the curtain of water. Li Sun gently tapped the rock wall with a wooden stick, carefully discerning the force transmitted back by the recoil. He listened until he heard a slightly different echo and recoil at one point. Found it, Li Sun confirmed, repeatedly checking one spot on the rock wall. He withdrew the stick and pressed it down, and the previously perfectly sealed rock wall caved in. Accompanied by a piercing sound like a millstone, a portal slowly opened in the rock wall, revealing a dark entrance. Li Sun was overjoyed and quickly slipped inside. The cave passage behind the waterfall was dark and damp. Li Sun took out a gemstone to use as a light source. After walking a few steps, he arrived at the innermost stone chamber of the cave. The stone chamber was not as dark as the passage. A small hole in the ceiling let in a faint light, and in this barely perceptible light, a blue-silver grass with golden pattern swayed in the wind. The blue-silver grass seemed to sense the approach of an outsider, and its slender leaves trembled. Tap tap tap, Li Sun slowly walked to the blue-silver grass and slowly squatted down. Hello, I know you are still conscious. The blue-silver grass trembled more intensely, and a gentle spiritual energy quietly appeared. Don't worry, I'm not here to kill you. Li Sun smiled and gently tapped the blue-silver grass with his finger. I just want your soul bone. The blue-silver grass suddenly returned to calm, just like an ordinary plant. Li Sun smiled at this. Was it going to die rather than submit? However, that was impossible in front of him. I know about your past with Tang Hao, and I also know your son Tang Sen. The blue-silver grass remained unmoved, as if these two people had nothing to do with her. Tap tap tap. Li Sun stood up and casually paced around the stone chamber, lightly tapping the surrounding walls with his fingers. As the tapping echoed throughout the chamber, the blue-silver grass trembled incessantly. You want to leave your soul bone to Tang Hao or Tang Sen, don't you? Li Sun chuckled lightly. To tell you the truth, your son Tang Sen is dead. His body now houses the soul of another person. The blue-silver grass's trembling leaves stiffened, suddenly erupting with a sharp mental fluctuation. You don't believe me? Li Sun ignored the weak mental attack and pulled out a travelogue. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll read it to you. This records that the Clear Sky sect, Clear Sky Douluo Tang Hao, fought a 3-day, 3-night battle with the Spirit Hall Pope Jin's Unji. The Spirit Hall suffered heavy losses, one Titled Douluo died and another was seriously injured. The Spirit Hall Pope died shortly after returning. You're saying Tang Hao, holding a newborn baby, fought so many experts single-handedly for 3 days and 3 nights? Is it possible he survived? Blue-silver grass's mental energy slowly contracted, as if entering a state of deep thought. Thump. Li Sun tapped his fingers on the wall, producing an unusual sound. Without hesitation, he slammed his palm against the wall, and with a ding, a dark box fell from the sky. Li Sun quickly caught it. The box was made of lead, completely black, about a foot wide and 1.5 meters long, and felt very heavy in his hand. The lead box wasn't locked, so Li Sun carefully opened it and saw a right leg bone. Li Sun had seen spirit bones before, but none could compare to this one in terms of appearance or spirit power fluctuations. This right leg bone was blue gold, crystal clear, and seemed to shimmer with starlight within. Most remarkably, it contained a vast life force. Li Sun slowly closed the lid and stored it in his spirit tool. He needed to find a safe place to absorb it. The energy of this spirit bone was too powerful. It took Tang Sen 3 days to absorb it, and Li Sun, at a lower level, didn't know how long it would take. If Tang Hao suddenly returned while he was absorbing it, what difference would that be from catching him in the act? Still haven't figured it out. Having obtained the spirit bone, Li Sun was in high spirits. I'll tell you another piece of information for free. Your adopted son Tang San's current girlfriend is also a 100,000-year-old spirit beast. Chapter 64. That handful of fresh soil. Do you think there might be another scene of a soul beast sacrifice in the future? And at that time, your adopted son will happen to be missing a soul ring. Tang Hao was level 90 when he was missing a soul ring and sacrificed a yin. Tang San was level 60 when he was missing a soul ring and sacrificed Xiao Wu. Although there were many coincidences, Li Sun was telling the truth without any falsehood. The successive messages caught blue silvergrass off guard, its long leaves trembling incessantly, its mental energy in turmoil. Li Sun chuckled and looked around the empty stone chamber. I don't know what Tang Hao was thinking, planting you in a place like this, and there doesn't seem to be any trace of life here. Could it be that Tang Hao just abandoned you here while he lived outside? Blue silvergrass's swaying branches paused, its leaves slightly curling up, as if in defense of Tang Hao's actions. Tisk tisk, no wonder transformed soul beasts are so popular, they're so loyal and easy to fool. Li Sun chuckled and shook his head. You look rather pitiful here. I'll take you somewhere where the environment is more suitable for your growth. It's not impossible for you to regain human form. He walked over to the blue silvergrass, and despite its struggles, gently dug up the small mound of soil, removing the entire plant. Don't worry, now that I have your soul bone, I won't kill you. I'm not a good person, but I have my bottom line. Besides, I might need your help with a small matter later. As he spoke, a sudden thought flashed through Li Sun's mind. If I may be so bold as to ask, if you regain human form, can you still obtain soul rings and soul bones? Don't be afraid, I just forgot to ask casually. The blue silvergrass swayed incessantly in Li Sun's hand, as if asking where Li Sun's bottom line was. He used wood release to create a large wooden box and placed a blue silvergrass inside. Considering that Tang Hao might be anxious if he returned and found Yin not there, Li Sun thoughtfully covered it with soil and planted the one that most resembled Yin from the handful of blue silvergrass he had grabbed when climbing the cliff. After everything was tidied up, just as Li Sun was about to leave, a sudden inspiration flashed in his mind. He quickly took out paper and pen, wrote a message, and placed it above his head where Tang Hao stored his soul bone. He stepped out of the cave and onto the bridge. Li Sun controlled the trees to slowly shrink, restoring all traces of the waterfall to their original state. I should find a safe place to absorb the soul bone first, otherwise getting back will still be a problem. Li Sun looked up and surveyed his surroundings. He hadn't expected the journey to take so long. If he retraced his steps, he risked encountering Tang Hao and missing his appointment with Zhu Xiuqing and Ning Rongrong. Relatively speaking, once he absorbed the Blue Silver Emperor's right leg bone and gained flight ability, the journey would be much faster. A day later, a figure suddenly leaped onto the reef. Tang Hao, expressionless, summoned the clear sky hammer, leaping into the air. His soul power surged, and he swung the clear sky hammer in his left hand. The massive clear sky hammer suddenly unleashed powerful soul power, reversing the waterfall's torrent from bottom to top. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Tang Hao quickly reached the rock wall, pressed down on a section, and a portal appeared. He slipped inside. Tang Hao strolled leisurely towards the stone chamber. Seeing that the blue silvergrass was still as before, Tang Hao smiled. Xiao-san has already demonstrated the advantages of his twin martial souls, even managing to withstand attacks from a skilled opponent like Zhao Wuji. Once he becomes stronger, he'll destroy Yin's leg bone. Yin, our child is doing well. I came back to tell you, and then I have to do something, Tang Hao said, suddenly sensing something was amiss. Something's wrong. Tang Hao's pupils constricted, and he quickly walked to the blue silvergrass. Yin, being the blue silver emperor, looked different from ordinary blue silvergrass. Not only were its leaves long and slender, but golden patterns also appeared on its surface. While this one appeared more vibrant than ordinary blue silvergrass, it was worlds apart from the blue silver emperor. Could it be that Yin has regressed? Tang Hao crouched down, carefully touching the leaf. Yin hadn't died. Instead, she left behind a seed and a soul bone. He planted it here as a way of remembering the past. Yin, our son has twin martial souls. He inherited your talent. Although he hasn't reached the blue silver emperor level yet, with your soul bone and my protection, he will definitely become a strong person and do what I wanted to do but couldn't. He's now joined a place called Shrek Academy. The children there are all very talented, and he should become a great help to Xiao-san in the future, and I've already instructed the academy teachers to take good care of Xiao-san, so you can go with peace of mind. Tang Hao sighed inwardly and slowly rose. He suddenly noticed that the soil beneath the roots of the blue silvergrass looked somewhat fresh. He hadn't known what it looked like since his last visit, but given the dark and damp environment, the soil shouldn't be in this state. A possibility occurred to Tang Hao, and he quickly walked to a wall and slammed his hand on it. A pitch-black lead box fell from the sky. At Tang Hao's level, The weight of the lead box was almost negligible. He gently stroked the box, then slowly opened it. A note came into view. What? Tang Hao's pupils dilated violently. He grabbed the note and threw the lead box aside. Tang Hao, I have to criticize you. Yin sacrificed herself for you, and you planted her in a place like this? Use your brain. Plants need photosynthesis too. And the humidity here is so high. Once you close the stone door, this place became a sealed sauna, and an air-conditioned one at that. Ordinary plants would have frozen to death or rotted long ago. It's only because the blue silver emperor is so resilient that it can survive, otherwise, you would have killed it already. I've taken the blue silver emperor's right leg bone. I'll take good care of Yin, so don't worry. Also, I have to say, if you don't care, someone else will. Who is it? Tang Hao tore the note to shreds, roared to the sky, and his soul power surged forth. The blue silver grass beneath his feet, affected by the soul power, instantly turned to dust. Thief, Tang Hao's eyes were bloodshot, and the clear sky hammer appeared in his hand, which he swung wildly as if the enemy were right in front of him. The stone chamber could hardly withstand the attack of a Titled Douluo. Beneath the clear sky hammer, rubble flew everywhere, leaving numerous dents. Foolish thief. Villain, Yin, you bastard. Tang Hao had lost his mind and only wanted to destroy everything in front of him. After a while, Tang Hao's emotions gradually calmed down. Looking at the stone chamber full of rubble, Tang Hao began to think. Had he exposed his whereabouts, leading to someone tracking him here? Or was it an inside job? If someone was tracking him, the spirit hall wouldn't have been inactive. He would probably have been surrounded the moment he appeared. But he hadn't sensed anyone approaching. This was the place where he and Yin had gotten married, and it was Yin who had led him here. It was possible that someone he knew this place, but who could Yin have told him? Could it be his older brother? Impossible, absolutely impossible. Tang Hao rubbed his throbbing temples, forcibly banishing the thought from his mind. If his older brother couldn't let go of Yin, he wouldn't have chosen to leave when the three of them were together, and he wouldn't have ignored Yin after her accident. Chapter 65. The world's thoughts have stagnated. Moreover, the information on the note didn't seem like something his elder brother could write. Tang Hao rubbed his face vigorously. He wasn't good at thinking to begin with, and his already chaotic mind was only making things worse. The only one who has a grudge against me is the Spirit Hall, and it can only be the Spirit Hall. Tang Hao's gaze turned cold as he slowly rose from the pile of rubble. Now that Yin was no longer in the stone chamber, there was nothing here worth his attachment. It must be someone from the Spirit Hall who discovered my whereabouts and sneaked in while I was away. Finding Yin and the soul bone here, Tang Hao crossed the waterfall and leaped onto the reef. A 100,000-year soul bone is a temptation for all soul masters. That person who obtained the soul bone probably wanted to secretly absorb it. To prevent me from venting my anger on the Spirit Hall and exposing his identity, he tried to divert my attention. The more Tang Hao thought about it, the more sense it made. Although he acted rashly, he was shrewd beneath his rough exterior. Having cultivated to the title realm, he was hardly the kind of person without a brain. Hell, the Spirit Hall, we've added another grudge to our list. Tang Hao gritted his teeth, his facial muscles bulging. It was time to go out and collect some interest from the Spirit Hall, otherwise the world would still think he, the clear sky Douluo, was dead. But considering the consequences of his revenge, Tang Hao frowned. I need to remind Xiao-san of the importance of twin spirits, especially the clear sky hammer. It must never be exposed to anyone. Tang Hao leaped forcefully from the 90-degree cliff, his eyes gradually turning cold as he looked at the ground getting closer. He still had other things to deal with. Once everything was ready and he had no more worries, then it was time to fight. As Tang Hao left, the pool remained, the waterfall flowed swiftly, and the place returned to its former tranquility. Following the waterfall upwards to the top, there was a new world. Perhaps because no one had disturbed it, it felt more like a secluded paradise. Although the air was a bit cold, it didn't affect the growth of the flowers and plants. It had a feeling of a peach blossom spring. As the old saying goes, the most dangerous place is the safest place. Considering the possibility of encountering high-level soul beasts or Tang Hao while wandering around, Li soon, after collecting the soul bone and the unwanted blue-silver grass king, climbed up the rock wall beside the waterfall to the top. Calling it a climb was a bit of a stretch. He simply ran along the rock wall with chakra under his feet, making it incredibly easy. Rewind to a day earlier. In a cave at the top of the waterfall, Li Sun took a deep breath and pressed the blue silver grass king soul bone close to his right leg. A buzzing sound rang out, and Li Sun felt a cool, comfortable sensation wash over his body. As the soul bone fully merged into his right leg, it instantly transformed into countless streams of blue-gold energy, beginning to unblock his congested meridians. Although soul power cultivation and chakra refining methods involve the flow of energy through the body's meridians, due to the different world he lived in, the pathways his body could utilize were quite extensive. Some smaller meridians and the Ren and Du meridian simply couldn't be opened. Although he had consumed immortal herbs, the eight-cornered ice grass and the fiery apricot only affected his already unblocked meridians. It made it resilient and expansive, without clearing blockages. As time slowly passed, a blue-gold aura spread throughout his body, enveloping Li Sun in a gentle aura. Influenced by this aura, Li Sun could no longer hold on and fell into deep sleep. One day later, at noon, Li Sun suddenly awoke, looked around, and then breathed a sigh of relief. Although this place was several hundred meters above the ground, it was still the wilderness. If he slept too deeply and something happened, he might never wake up again. He stretched, feeling an unprecedented sense of ease throughout his body, all thanks to the continuous life force of the blue-silver emperor's leg bones. Standing on the water, Li Sun looked at his reflection and nodded. This time, I'll definitely get more attention on the street. He focused his mind and entered an internal vision. Yin's leg bones have a very strong compatibility with mine. They actually helped me open up the 8 extraordinary meridians, even some minor branch meridians. Li Sun's spirits lifted. He discovered that with the opening of all his meridians, the circulation of his soul power and chakra had become much faster. Previously, when using soul skills or ninjutsu, he always felt that the flow of power within his body wasn't very smooth. Now, that feeling had disappeared. Li Sun happily tested the skill, and the experience was incredibly smooth. It seems that the soul power meditation cultivation method in Douluo Continent still has a lot of room for improvement, Li Sun murmured. Perhaps I can give it a try. Logically, every fantasy world should have a plethora of cultivation methods. After all, everyone's physique and talent are different, and using the same method might bury some people's unique talents. But in Douluo Continent, it seems everyone is born with the ability to cultivate. As long as one's martial soul has innate soul power, it can be improved through meditation. This meditation method doesn't distinguish between ranks or attributes. The only difference might be that the amount of innate soul power determines a person's cultivation speed and talent. And the way to become stronger isn't how hard you cultivate or how extraordinary your comprehension is, it all depends on the soul rings and martial souls you acquire. This leads to Tang San's Zhuantian Gong and Zhuantian Baolu, which he brought from another world, being able to deliver a devastating blow. Li Sun chuckled. It just means that people in this world have stagnated minds and lack the ambition to forge new paths, right, Master Xiaogang? Master Xiaogang keeps saying there are no useless martial souls, only useless soul masters, but what has this master done? Instead of thinking about how to break through to level 29, he spends all his time collecting data and categorizing those so-called 10 core theories of martial souls. Come on, be innovative. If this meditation method doesn't work, let's try another one, okay? Maybe then you'll break through. You're already useless anyway, why not try a different approach and study the cultivation system? Isn't that better than spending all your time studying the achievements of predecessors? Even if you fail and your meridians are destroyed, you'll only have level 29 soul power. What's the point of keeping it? To scare ordinary people? A complete waste of talent. All for fame and fortune. Shaking off these thoughts, Li Sun sensed the changes in his soul power and skills, just as I predicted. My soul power has reached level 40, I'm only waiting to acquire a soul ring. The regenerative ability of my wood release has also been enhanced. Although it hasn't reached the level of super fast regeneration, I'm not afraid of losing an arm or a leg. The prerequisite is that his head and right leg don't fall off. Wood release, tree world descend. Li Sun clasped his 5 fingers together, forming the sea seal. Hundreds of thick trees rose from the ground, instantly forming a dense forest several acres in size. The forest was filled with swaying branches and intertwined vines, exuding a rich life force. Beside the waterfall, it formed a magnificent landscape. This was the result of his full effort. Through the amplification of his blue-silver emperor right leg bone, the forest he cultivated was even more robust. The saplings, originally averaging 2 meters tall, had been amplified to 6 or 7 meters. If his cultivation were any higher now, he believed that with a single tree world descend, this place would become a grove of towering ancient trees. Spectacular, yes, but not very combat effective. Li soon crossed the water to the shore, sat cross-legged to recover, and said, shrinking the range, the remaining energy is enough for now. His second and third soul skills possessed the characteristics of growth and extension, respectively. If he only manipulated a small amount of trees, he could control plants at will, making them stronger and more agile, and even simulating the effect of blue-silver entanglement. Moreover, it would extend further and be more resilient than Tang San's blue-silver grass. Furthermore, Li Sun's ninjutsu had also made significant progress. His wood-release clones could now exist for extended periods. He could also demonstrate various techniques, such as merging into trees for movement and transforming his body into trees to attack enemies. I wonder what Tang San will think when he sees my skills. Li Sun chuckled and got up to walk to the waterfall. The ability to fly that he had always longed for had finally come true. Chapter 66 Soul Beast strolling through the streets. The waterfall where Yin was located was over 200 meters high, and from the air, all one could see was a lush green landscape. Li Sun spread his arms and slowly leaned forward, plummeting down the waterfall. Listening to the whooshing sound and feeling the strong wind blowing in his face, he felt incredibly exhilarated. From now on, he would no longer need to be carried by others. It's true that having it yourself is better than having it from someone else. Li Sun hovered in midair, feeling the refreshing air around him. He felt neither cold nor the discomfort of being carried. Those two old men were probably doing it on purpose. They could have easily carried people at this altitude, but they insisted on flying higher. Li Sun suddenly realized. After briefly adapting to his flying ability, Li Sun glanced at the route he had come from, and finally decided to take a detour to avoid being seen by Tang Hao. Soto City was bustling with activity today, the streets filled with laughter and chatter. Zhu Xiaogang, Ning Rongrong, and Sword Douluo were slowly making their way through the crowded streets. HMPH. Li Sun, that big liar. So many days have passed and we still haven't seen him, Ning Rongrong pouted angrily. I suspected him back then, but you wouldn't believe me. The three of us have been together for years, what could he possibly not know? After learning the details of Shrek Academy, the two of them lost interest in the place. What a monster training academy. A complete fraud. Everyone who enters Shrek is a genius. These geniuses could become strong in any academy. They don't need you to teach them. But Li Sun's desire to visit Shrek Academy despite knowing its history piqued their curiosity. Did Shrek Academy have some stunning beauty waiting for him? I told you to come with him, but you insisted on giving him some private space. It's been a month and a half, isn't that too much? Ning Rongrong looked at Zhu Xiaogang beside her. Why don't we go check out Shrek Academy? She was now curious about what could possibly attract Li Sun to such a trashy academy as Shrek. He even went out of his way to gather information. Is it simply because of Daimyo Bei? A flicker of doubt crossed Ning Rongrong's eyes. I'm not going. I'll wait for him to return at the inn. Zhu Xiaogang pursed her lips and slowly shook her head. The thought of still being engaged to Daimyo Bei made her feel awkward. If she entered Shrek Academy and Daimyo Bei thought she was going to see him, that wouldn't be good. Sword Douluo, listening from behind, shook his head. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School members had all witnessed the relationship between Li Sun and the other two. However, Li Sun and the others were still young, and their relationship hadn't reached the point of discussing marriage, so these old folks hadn't interfered. This was also due to Li Sun's talent. Li Sun's strength had improved too quickly, so quickly that even these old folks were secretly alarmed. Now, he even had the potential to break through to the Soul Master level the fastest. They, including Ning Fengzi, discussed it and decided that no one would interfere in Li Sun's love life. They didn't want to be the bad guys later. That way, even if Li Sun didn't end up with Ning Rongrong, at least their relationship wouldn't be damaged. The 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School was still their home. Let's see how you make up a story when you get back. Sword Douluo said with amusement. This was why he'd been single for decades. These emotions and love could easily cloud one's judgment and slow down cultivation. Alright, let's go back to the inn then. Ning Rongrong's anger subsided, and she gave Zhu Xiaogang a resentful look. The two of them were on the same side, but Zhu Xiaogang always retreated at crucial moments, leaving her alone to fight Li Sun. Thinking of the small branch in Li Sun's hand, Ning Rongrong decided to let him off the hook for now. The streets were crowded, and the three of them spent quite a while following the flow of people before finally reaching the entrance of the Cao family inn. Wrong, Xiaogang, you two go in first, I have some errands to run. Just as the three were about to enter the inn, Sword Douluo suddenly sensed a presence and abruptly turned to look at the distance. Ninjutsu was taken aback upon hearing this, and followed Sword Douluo's gaze forward. Grandpa Sword, what's wrong? It's good news. Sword Douluo looked brightly into the distance, a smile appearing on his lips. In the continent, 100,000-year-old soul beasts are incredibly precious, attracting countless soul masters. However, soul beasts are powerful, and even titled Douluos might not necessarily fare well against their attacks. But if a soul beast chooses to transform into human form, that's a different story. After a soul beast's cultivation reaches 100,000 years, a calamity will descend upon it every 100,000 years. Some soul beasts, knowing they cannot withstand the calamity, will choose to transform into human form, starting their cultivation anew as humans, pursuing a sliver of hope for godhood and immortality. But simply transforming into human form does not make them true humans, nor qualifying them for godhood. They still need to go through 3 stages, the juvenile stage before level 60, the mature stage after level 60, and the godhood stage at level 90. Among these, the juvenile stage is the most dangerous for 100,000-year-old soul beasts. At this stage, they are only in the initial human form, making them easy targets for titled experts to spot and kill. This is also one of the main sources for soul masters on the continent to obtain 100,000-year soul rings. Only when they cultivate to level 60 and reach maturity in human form do they truly become human. During this period, unless they actively expose themselves, even titled experts cannot detect them. Good thing, Ninjutsu asked with a puzzled look. Sword Douluo smiled faintly. Your and Xiaosun's 100,000-year soul rings are secured? He hadn't expected that just protecting Ninjutsu and Zhu Xiuqing on their trip to Soto City would lead to encountering a 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast, strolling around a human city with such swagger. Did they really think that titled experts were so rare on the continent? A 100,000-year soul ring, Ninjutsu and Zhu Xiuqing were both startled and followed Sword Douluo's gaze. They saw 3 men and 1 woman walking towards them, chatting and laughing. Where are the 100,000-year soul beasts? Ninjutsu looked past the 4 of them, craning her neck to look around. Zhu Xiuqing followed the gaze and saw the newcomers, her brows furrowing. See that little girl? Sword Douluo patted Ninjutsu's head, pointing to the girl behind the 3 boys. That's a 100,000-year-old soul beast in human form. Ninjutsu was taken aback. Her expression gradually turning strange. Grandpa Sword, she seems quite happy. Are all soul beasts this bold after transforming? Soul beasts strolling around the human world, it's like they don't care about life or death. I'm not sure. Sword Douluo shook his head with a smile, but isn't this a good thing? With Xiaosun's talent, she might absorb a 100,000-year soul ring in just a few years. Now is the perfect opportunity. I'll capture her and send her back to the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School later, then I'll join you all. The members of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School had once been troubled by Li Sun's spirit rings. They unanimously believe that to maximize the strength of Li Sun's twin martial souls, he should be equipped with a 100,000-year spirit ring as a foundation, laying a solid base for his second martial soul. However, 100,000-year spirit beasts were incredibly powerful, and even if Sword Douluo had broken through to level 97, he couldn't guarantee a victory without having fought one. Therefore, they discussed it and decided that once Li Sun reached level 90, they, the old guys, would collectively go to the starred out Great Forest to help Li Sun hunt a 100,000-year spirit beast. Now it seemed there was no need to take that risk. Sword Douluo's gaze was deep as he looked at the girl who had walked not far from him and smiled kindly. Chapter 67 Prince Daimyo of Xingluo. As the group drew closer, Sword Douluo's soul power surged. With his level 97 strength, he could capture a level 30 transformed soul beast in an instant without affecting those around him. Sword Douluo's hair moved without wind, a wisp of his aura locking onto Xiao Wu. Just as he was about to take a step, he felt himself enveloped by a killing intent. His brows furrowed, and he turned to look at the distant tower top. Who goes there? He saw a burly man in black robes on the tower top, radiating a scarlet aura, staring intently at him. Wrong, Xiuqing, you two go back to the inn and wait for me. Sword Douluo's expression was solemn, and his figure suddenly disappeared, leaving the two women standing there looking at each other. Let's go back first. Zhu Xiuqing raised an eyebrow and pulled Ning Rongrong towards the inn. Wow, what two pretty girls. But just as Zhu Xiuqing and Zhu Qing turned around, a fat man in red robes howled from not far away and then ran up to them at lightning speed. Blocking Zhu Xiuqing and Ning Rongrong's path, the fat man stopped, his eyes gleaming as he stalked them. This blatant gaze made Zhu Xiuqing's face darken, but considering the potential trouble, she grabbed Ning Rongrong, who was about to say something, and tried to get past them. Hey, don't go. Ma Hongjin blocked their way again, striking what he thought was a cool pose. Which of you wants to have a love affair with me, one that lasts forever? If you're both willing, even better. He then threw what he thought was a charming wink. Get out of my way, you fatso. Ning Rongrong shoved Ma Hongjin, but he didn't budge. Ma Hongjin leaned forward, grinning lewdly. Beautiful lady, why are you so angry? Give me a chance. Ning Rongrong, furious, quickly backed away, about to unleash a torrent of abuse, but Zhu Xiuqing grabbed her. Zhu Xiuqing shoved the fat man aside and pulled Ning Rongrong towards the Cao family's inn. What are you doing? I'm talking to her. What's it to you? Or do you want to be my woman? Ma Hongjin, feeling embarrassed in front of his companion, was shoved and stumbled as he relaxed. Zhu Xiuqing ignored Ma Hongjin and walked past the fat man with Ning Rongrong in her arms. Seeing himself ignored, Ma Hongjin's face flushed red, and he stretched his shoulders, about to step forward. Fatty, stop. Dai Mubei looked at Zhu Xiuqing with a complicated expression. What, fourth brother Dai, you've got your eye on her? Ma Hongjin paused, then said sourly, what about your twins? Tired of them? I'm not trying to be mean, but even if you're tired of them, you can't steal your brother's woman. You're having fun, dating different women 3 times a day, while your brother's left alone in his room. Ma Hongjin's tone grew increasingly sour, and his gaze towards Dai Mubei became increasingly hostile. That fat bastard. Dai Mubei gritted his teeth, glaring at Ma Hongjin with his eyes. He wanted nothing more than to tear the fat man apart. Zhu Qing, let me explain. Dai Mubei channeled his soul power, quickly passing Ma Hongjin and blocking the inn's entrance, cutting off Zhu Xiuqing and her companion's path. So you two know each other? Ma Hongjin was taken aback, a sudden pang of bitterness rising in his heart. Ning Rongrong was also stunned, glancing at Dai Mubei before asking Zhu Xiuqing beside her, an acquaintance. Zhu Xiuqing pursed her lips. He's Dai Mubei, Ning Rongrong gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. So he's that playboy prince who abandoned you and ran away. Although Ning Rongrong's voice wasn't loud, everyone present heard her clearly. This statement contained a lot of information. Tang San, Ma Hongjin, and Xiao Wu all perked up their ears, their gazes constantly shifting between Dai Mubei and Zhu Xiuqing. Dai Mubei's face stiffened, his eyes darkening as he stared at Ning Rongrong. What do you mean? This is between her and me. It has nothing to do with you, does it? When he first saw Zhu Xiuqing, Dai Mubei had felt a surge of joy. He hadn't expected her to travel all the way from Xingluo to Xiandao to find him. Running away wasn't exactly honorable, especially abandoning his fiancée. But if Zhu Xiuqing was also running away, then his escape would undoubtedly have more legitimate reasons in the eyes of others. For example, they could say they were simply avoiding confrontation and conserving their strength. If they spent enough time together, his past mistakes would become a choice made by both of them. Then he could stand tall before the royal family and his allies. But all of this had now been prematurely revealed by this young girl before him. How can it be nothing? If my brother hadn't saved Zhu Qing and brought her to our 7-treasure glazed tile school, she might have been killed by your rivals long ago. Ning Rongrong put her hands on her hips, looking at Dai Mubei with disdain. Zhu Qing is now a member of our 7-treasure glazed tile school. You coward, don't bother her again. Oh! Upon hearing Ning Rongrong's words, everyone present suddenly understood what was going on. It was just a power struggle within the Starluo royal family. As a prince, Dai Mubei knew he was no match and chose to abandon everything, including his fiancée, and run to the Heavendao Empire alone to seek survival. The reason they were certain that Dai Mubei was a Starluo prince and not a Heavendao prince was because Dai was the surname of the Starluo royal family. Ma Hongjin was astonished. He hadn't expected Dai Mubei to be a Starluo prince. No wonder he had such a slutty face. So you have flaws too. Dai Mubei, let's see if you dare to show off in front of me again. Ma Hongjin grinned lewdly. Brother, tell me, am I right about people? I knew Dai Mubei wasn't a good person a long time ago, And you still think he's alright? Xiao Wu also looked disdainful, whispering in Tang San's ear. He abandoned his fiancée and ran away to the Heaven Dao Empire, spending his days indulging in debauchery with 2 women. This kind of person is utterly rotten. Even though we're on the same team now, you should stay away from him in the future. Tang San frowned. It wasn't that he disliked Daimyo Bei's character. Because of their battle at the hotel, Daimyo Bei's restraint and lack of relentless pursuit due to their strength had left a good impression on him. Tang San was now thinking about whether the brother Ning Rongrong mentioned was the same person from a few years ago. Judging from Ning Rongrong's spoiled young lady demeanor and her constant references to the 7 treasure glazed tile school, she clearly held a high position within the sect, and Li Sun, with his exceptional talent, as Ning Fengzi's disciple, was very likely the brother Ning Rongrong was talking about. Thinking of Li Sun, Tang San's face gradually darkened. Li Sun had insulted his teacher, Xiaogang, a few years ago. Although this matter had nothing to do with the young girl in front of him, the two were from the same sect, and their personalities and character were bound to be similar due to spending so much time together. He couldn't stand idly by and watch Daimyo Bei be humiliated, repeating his teacher's mistake. Miss, this is a private matter between Mu Bei and this girl named Xiaogang. It's not good for outsiders to interfere. Why don't you let them resolve it themselves? Just as Daimyo Bei's expression shifted, unsure how to respond, Tang San stepped forward with a smile and spoke up. But didn't you interfere too? And you're criticizing me? Ning Rongrong put her hands on her hips. Besides, Xiaogang is now under the protection of our 7 treasure glazed tile school. How am I, as the future heir of the 7 treasure glazed tile school, an outsider, and who are you to interfere? Chapter 68. I think you've hooked up with Li Sun. Hearing Ning Rongrong's words, Tang San's face darkened. He had tried to reason with her, but the girl's attitude was so unfriendly and unreasonable. Mu Bai and I are close friends, from the same school, and on the same team. I have the right to speak the truth. Birds of a feather flock together. You can even associate with someone like Daimyo Bei. You're probably no good either. Ning Rongrong rolled her eyes, utterly disdainful. You're all from Shrek Academy, right? I reckon that academy can only fool people like you with questionable character. She had initially been somewhat interested in Shrek Academy, wanting to see how they deceived people after Li Sun returned. But now she had completely lost interest. A glimpse into the whole picture. A sleazy fat guy, a cowardly Daimyo Bei, and now this hypocrite pretending to speak the truth. Even if this academy is full of geniuses, it probably won't contribute much to society. Don't try to apply Daimyo Bei's character to my third brother. My third brother is pure and innocent. Who are you calling a bad person? Just as Tang San's face darkened, Xiao Wu stepped forward, pointing at Ning Rongrong with one hand on her hip. And you're no good either. Spreading rumors for no reason. What did Shrek Academy do to you that you're going to condemn everyone from our academy? Xiao Wu was easily impulsive. If Ning Rongrong had only targeted Daimyo Bei, she would have been happy to watch the show. After all, she had already seen that he wasn't a good person when she came to Soto City. But her third brother had only spoken up for justice and had been insulted by Ning Rongrong like this, and she had dragged everyone from Shrek Academy into it. This was unacceptable to Xiao Wu. Ma Hongjin was also furious. He had been despised and looked down upon since childhood, and was often scorned because of his flawed martial soul. But since being taken in as a disciple by Dean Flander, he had never been bullied again. Shrek Academy now felt more like home to him. If it weren't for the fact that the girl opposite him was likely a high-ranking member of the 7 treasure glazed tile school, he would have really wanted to go up and teach her a lesson. Pure and innocent? I vomit. Ning Rongrong bent over, covering her mouth and making a vomiting motion. What era are we living in? This word is basically used to describe women now, isn't it? You're treating him like a sister? Mistress, that sounds like a name for a third party. Now that Li Sun wasn't around and no one was suppressing Ning Rongrong, her true nature finally had a chance to be unleashed, and she felt increasingly smug as she spoke. Tang San and Xiao Wu's expressions grew colder and colder, their eyes turning hostile. Enough. Seeing the situation escalating, Daimyo Bei shouted angrily. He hadn't expected the girl opposite him to be so vicious. He reached out to stop the others who wanted to teach Ning Rongrong a lesson. This wasn't because he was magnanimous, but because this was, after all, within the Heaven Dao territory. Given the 7 treasure glazed tile school's power in Heaven Dao, Tang San and the others' actions could have serious consequences. They were all from the same academy and team, and would be spending a long time together in the future. If Tang San and the others offended the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School because of him, he would likely face their resentment in the future. As for himself, Daimyo smiled coldly. Although he didn't dare to kill Ning Rongrong, he could certainly teach her a lesson. As a prince of Star Luo, he figured the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School wouldn't dare to do anything to him. My elder brother killed me and it's fine, but does your 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School dare to touch me? Daimyo sneered. If it weren't for the existence of the Spirit Hall, Star Luo would have already spread the flames of war to the Heaven Dao Empire. You've gone too far. Others may fear your 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, but I don't. Don't interfere in my affairs with Zhu Xiuqing. Daimyo's eyes flashed with a cold light as he pointed at Ning Rongrong and spoke slowly. Ouch! I'm so scared. Ning Rongrong made a frightening gesture with her small hands, turning her face away with disdain, refusing to look at him directly. You did something dishonorable, and now you don't want others to talk about it, you? Daimyo was furious, pointing his finger at Ning Rongrong, then his soul power suddenly erupted, forming a shockwave that attacked Ning Rongrong. It all happened so fast that Ning Rongrong was stunned on the spot. She didn't expect Daimyo to actually dare to attack her. Seeing that the shockwave was about to hide her, Zhu Xiuqing instantly reached out and grabbed Ning Rongrong's slender waist, leaping backward. The two rolled in the air and landed on the signboard of Xiaogang, dodging Daimyo's attack. However, the inn's door was also damaged, instantly shattering into pieces. The inn's receptionist was about to come out to check the situation, but was pulled back by another person. Ning Rongrong, still shaken, clung tightly to Zhu Xiuqing, saying, Xiuqing, now you see his true colors, don't you? He's even more disgusting than the information describes. Zhu Xiuqing chuckled and shook her head. She pushed off the signboard, leaping over Daimyo and the others to the other side of the street. I saw through him a long time ago, and I never wanted to have anything to do with him again. When Sword Douluo discovered the 100,000-year-old soul beast, she followed the directions and saw Daimyo. She had wanted to avoid him then, precisely because she feared this kind of thing might happen, especially since Li Sun wasn't around. Zhu Xiuqing's expression was calm, her gaze cold. Daimyo, our marriage agreement was merely a matter of the rules. Since you escaped, we have had no further connection. Moreover, I didn't come to Xiandao for you, so please don't get involved with me anymore. How? Zhu Xiuqing, do you think you can escape? Daimyo's chest heaved violently as he forced himself to suppress his embarrassment and gave a cold laugh. In this struggle for the throne, there is only success or failure. After we turn 25, we will face a choice, to live together or to die together. You can't escape. He had never thought he could defeat Davis. After all, they were 6 years apart, and even if he cultivated to the death, he could never bridge the age gap. Daimyo's original plan was simply to escape to Xiandao, to enjoy himself one day at a time, and at worst, to have his cultivation crippled and exiled by Davis after he turned 25. After all, he hadn't threatened the other's throne, so there was no reason for his elder brother to execute him. But now, he had changed his mind. He wanted to drag Zhu Xiuqing down with him. Daimyo's eyes flashed with cold light. This bitch dared to abandon him and even tried to sever ties with him in front of so many people. I think what Brother Li Sun said once makes a lot of sense. Zhu Xiuqing smiled and shook her head. He said, what does it matter to our Zhu family if your Dai family's prince dies? As long as I have no intention of competing, my elder sister won't touch me. With your current behavior, even if I wholeheartedly follow you, it seems impossible to defeat them. As if thinking of something, Zhu Xiuqing revealed a sweet smile. He said to let you play as much as you want, and I can go home when you die, bitch. Daimyo noticed the furtive glances from his companions and trembled with rage. He roared, I think you've hooked up with that guy named Li Sun. He even cursed me to die. I'll kill you first and then kill that bastard named Li Sun. The loud noise quickly attracted the attention of the surrounding passers-by, who stopped to watch. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 Sword and Fingers. Second Soul Skill, White Tiger Blazing Light Wave. Enraged, Daimyo disregarded their location on the street and unleashed a white shockwave, hurtling towards Zhu Xiuqing and Ning Rongrong. The streets of Soto City were crowded today. A large crowd had gathered to watch since Ning Rongrong's mockery of Daimyubei. Daimyubei's furious attack also engulfed some passers-by. This immediately drew gasps from the crowd. "This guy, he's insane," one passerby cried, clutching their head in despair. "Damn coward, running away and not even letting anyone say anything, bastard." Daimyubei's indiscriminate attack drew curses from those around him. Seeing that the attack was about to affect the ordinary people nearby, Zhu Xiuqing's eyes narrowed. She summoned her martial soul, Nirvana Nine-Tailed Fox, and a sharp sword appeared in her hand. Since her martial soul evolved, the most noticeable change in her was the form of her skills. She no longer relied on claws for attacks. Second soul skill, Nirvana 100 Slashes. Facing the white tiger's blazing light wave, Zhu Xiuqing swiftly swung her sword, instantly forming a sword net that shattered the white shockwave. Seeing the shockwave dissipate, the surrounding passers-by breathed a sigh of relief. After thanking Zhu Xiuqing, they quickly retreated to a distance to peek out. How did her netherworld cat turn golden? And it grew 9 tails. And what was that sword? Daimyubei's pupils contracted. The Starluo royal family and the Zhu family had been intermarried for generations, so their martial souls were no secret to them. However, Daimyubei had never heard of the netherworld cat having another form. This martial soul looked exceptionally noble. Could it have mutated? Daimyubei's thoughts raced, and his expression grew even colder. It seemed Zhu Xiuqing's martial soul had undergone a positive mutation, its quality likely surpassing both the netherworld cat and the evil-eyed white tiger. "We absolutely cannot let Zhu Xiuqing leave," Daimyubei roared. "Since you chose to betray me, you must pay the price." Third soul skill, White Tiger Vajra Transformation. He instantly pounced forward, simultaneously amplifying himself with his soul skill. First soul skill, Instant Flash. Seeing Daimyubei rushing towards her, Zhu Xiuqing's expression turned cold. She made a sword finger gesture and slashed her sword. She thrust forward, leaving only an afterimage. Daimyubei's forward momentum faltered, his face filled with disbelief as he looked at his chest. His clothes were torn, and a thin, widening wound could be vaguely seen through the tear. This was the effect of being swiftly cut open by a sharp blade. How is this possible? Daimyubei wiped his wound, staring blankly at the blood on his finger. He was a level 37 soul master, and 3 years older than Zhu Xiuqing, yet he had only seen her afterimage for a fleeting moment during their exchange. With their similar talents, no matter how hard Zhu Xiuqing cultivated, she couldn't overcome the difference in age and soul power. Based on his understanding of the Zhu family's martial soul, the opponent's current soul power was at most around level 24 or 25. He hadn't expected the opponent to have cultivated to the soul venerable level, and with such bizarrely changed skills. What exactly happened? How could it cause such a change in you? Daimyubei's expression was grave as he slowly turned around. His 4 pairs of pupils fixed on Zhu Xiuqing. "Daimyubei, I've made myself clear. We have nothing to do with each other anymore." Zhu Xiuqing twirled her Nirvana sword, flicking the blood off the ground. "And what happened to me, I naturally cannot disclose." Daimyubei's face turned cold, his hands instinctively clenching into fists. "Zhu Xiuqing, I was careless just now. You don't think you can defeat me with just your cultivation and this little bit of damage, do you?" He then assumed a fighting stance, his fist transforming into Tiger's Claw. "If you weren't the Starluo Prince, that sword strike would have been aimed at your throat." Zhu Xiuqing's gaze was cold. For a moment, she truly wanted to kill Daimyubei with a single sword strike. But considering that even if Daimyubei was useless, he was still the Starluo Prince, and she couldn't cause trouble for the 7 treasure Glazed tile school. "Hell, you can try and see if you can kill me," Daimyubei sneered, his 4 pairs of pupils constantly shifting as he observed his surroundings. He admitted he had underestimated Zhu Xiuqing, and the sharp sword in her hand was indeed more lethal than the claws of the netherworld cat. However, in Soul Master battles, sometimes it's not just about strength, but also about mastering the terrain. Second soul skill, White Tiger Blazing Light Wave. Daimyubei turned around instantly and used his soul skill again. However, this time his target wasn't Zhu Xiuqing opposite him, but Ning Rongrong behind him. The Grandmaster had said that in Soul Master battles, if the opposing team has a support Soul Master, the support should be defeated first. Although his battle with Zhu Xiuqing wasn't a team battle at this moment, who said he couldn't attack the opponent's support? Despicable, Zhu Xiuqing shouted angrily, thrusting her sword forward. and suddenly disappeared from the spot. First soul skill, White Tiger Protective Barrier. A cold smile appeared on Daimyubei's lips as he used his soul skill at the perfect time. Although Daimyubei didn't know the principle behind Zhu's Yuking's skill, as long as she wasn't truly teleporting, the range of his first soul skill would be enough to affect her. Zhu's Yuking, her face filled with anxiety, thrust her sword straight forward, flashing around at an extremely fast speed. Although her first soul skill was flashing, the distance was short, and although it consumed little energy, it was limited by the straight thrust. The reason she could disappear in front of everyone was simply because she used this skill continuously. As Zhu's Yuking passed by Daimyubei, she caught a glimpse of the light shield he was about to form, and her anger surged instantly. During the pause, she slightly adjusted her angle. As their figures crossed, the sharp blade instantly sliced through Daimyubei's tiger claw, which was in a fighting stance. But by then, the light shield had already formed and was rapidly approaching her. Zhu's Yuking glanced at it out of the corner of her eye, her expression unchanged. With a supple arch, she instantly leaped from the ground, spun once in the air, and then stepped onto the light shield, using the impact to increase her speed even further. Before the shockwave could hit Ninjutsu, he shattered it with a single sword strike. The exchange between the two was so swift that it took everyone else to react. "You're despicable." Ninjutsu's face turned deathly pale, her body trembling with rage as she pointed angrily at Daimyubei. Although she had often been disciplined since childhood, she had never experienced such danger. Her legs went weak with fear, and it took her a great deal of effort to take 2 shaky steps to Zhu's Yuking's side. "Zhu's Yuking, how are you?" Ninjutsu asked, grabbing Zhu's Yuking's arm with concern, seeing her panting. "I'm fine." Zhu's Yuking slowly shook her head, then took a deep breath. She had only been rushing to the rescue too quickly, and her breathing had become labored. The 9 treasures are named for 3 things: strength, speed, and soul. Seeing Zhu's Yuking's condition, Ninjutsu assumed her sister had suffered a hidden injury. With a furious expression, the 9 treasures glazed pagoda in her hand instantly emitted a 3-colored light, merging into Zhu's Yuking's body. Since this Daimyubei was so despicable, she was prepared to retaliate. As a support soul master, although she couldn't act personally, the Zhu Qing, amplified by her soul skill, struck Daimyubei. That would be considered her action. At this moment, Daimyubei stared blankly at his 3 fingers lying on the ground. The sword was so sharp that his senses were delayed. He felt no pain, nor did he scream, only feeling a sense of absurdity. He hadn't expected Zhu's Yuking to be able to seize the opening in his skill and attack in such a short time. Tang, seeing Daimyubei's current state, sensed something was wrong. "Miss, they're one-on-one. It seems unfair for you to interfere now, doesn't it?" Chapter 70 Sword Douluo and Tang Hao. Tang frowned and was about to step forward. Although Daimyubei's actions were criticized, he was still his classmate. If it were a one-on-one fight, Daimyubei losing would be fine. But if his companion intervened and he didn't do something, it would definitely leave an impression of disunity in the eyes of everyone in the academy. "Fair." Ninjutsu was stunned, looking at Tang in disbelief. "Everyone knows you're on the same side. Can't you be a little more discreet about your bias? His attack was clearly aimed at me. Why couldn't I fight back? As the saying goes, attack where the enemy must defend." Tang-san's expression was serious, pointing at Zhu's Yuking. "Although Mubei's attack was aimed at you, the real target was actually that Miss Yuking. Mubei must have calculated in advance that the girl would be able to save you in time when he used his skill." Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjin were stunned when they heard Tang-san's analysis, then their eyes lit up, and they couldn't help but look at Tang-san with admiration. They were impressed that their third brother could analyze Daimyubei's plan in such a short time. "You're just making excuses." Ninjutsu put one hand on her hip, pointing angrily at Tang-san. Being able to formulate strategies using soul skills is based on knowing the opponent's specific information. This is our first meeting today, and Zhu Qing only used her skill once. Where did that playboy prince get his information? I think he's clearly up to no good, with malicious intentions. And someone like you who distorts the facts for your companions isn't any better. Having recovered from her initial fear, Ninjutsu had calmed down. She was simply caught off guard by the sudden turn of events, but now, thinking back, even if Zhu Qing couldn't save her in time, her sword grandpa would have intervened at the crucial moment. Because she was the little princess of the 7 treasure glazed tile school, even if her sword grandpa had to leave, he would definitely keep some attention on her. "Girl, the facts are right before your eyes." That Miss Zuquin did indeed save you. Everything you said is nothing but personal emotion and speculation, it doesn't prove anything. Tang San's face was cold. He stepped forward to Daimyo Bei's side, used acupressure to stop the bleeding, and picked up the 3 fingers from the ground, handing them to Daimyo Bei. However, although you were attacked, you weren't injured. While it's a fact that Mu Bei lost 3 fingers, Daimyo Bei had already reacted. Looking at the 3 severed fingers in her hand, her eyes were bloodshot, and a tear slowly rolled down her cheek. She kept muttering to herself, I want to kill you. Seeing this, Tang San patted Daimyo Bei's shoulder and looked sharply at Ning Rongrong and Zhu Xiuqing. Girl, you broke the default rule of one-on-one by attacking now. That's real sophistry. We Shrek Academy will never let our comrades suffer. He had only done a simple analysis and had already found the loophole in Ning Rongrong's words. Now, all he needed to do was continue along the way. After all, they were both members of Shrek Academy, and Daimyo Bei had suffered such a serious injury. If he didn't intervene, he might face blame upon returning. Although Daimyo Bei's actions for victory were indeed somewhat unethical, he was still on Tang San's side. Moreover, Ning Rongrong's repeated verbal offenses had already displeased Tang San. However, given that she was a support-type soul master and a girl, and with so many people watching, he couldn't very well challenge her. Now that she had made a rash move, it gave him a reason to teach Ning Rongrong a lesson. Of course, he didn't need to do it himself. Little San is right. Since nothing unexpected happened, then all of this is just your imagination. Are you trying to find an excuse to bully the weak with numbers? Ma Hongjin was furious that Daimyo Bei had suffered such a great loss in such a short time. He cracked his neck, snapped his fingers a few times, and took 2 steps past Tang San to stand in front of the crowd. Even though you're from the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, you can't be unreasonable, can you? Do you really think we Shrek Academy are easy to bully? These 2 girls, though beautiful, aren't yours to cherish. Although they have powerful backgrounds, his teacher once said that those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre. He's just giving them a small lesson. He doesn't think it will cause too much trouble. Xiao Wu glanced at the situation and quickly went to Tang San's side, the 2 standing behind Ma Hongjin. You, Ning Rongrong trembled slightly with anger, quickly moving closer to Zhu Xiuqing while looking around for Sword Daluo's figure. Time rewinds to the moment Sword Daluo disappeared. At this moment, Sword Daluo is hovering on a high tower in Soto City, riding a flying sword. He's observing the situation below while confronting a burly man in black. Killing Gao Domain? Your Haoshan Daluo? Sword Daluo frowned, looking at the red domain surrounding the man in black, and probed. In the continent, there are only a handful of powerful individuals who possess a domain, and among those he knows, only one person possesses this blood-red domain that exudes a chilling killing intent. Indeed, the man in black nodded, slowly removing his hood. It was Tang Hao. I wonder what brings brother Tang Hao here. Sword Daluo's aura relaxed, then turned somewhat puzzled. Brother Sword, have you noticed the strangeness of that girl below? Tang Hao's voice was hoarse as he looked at Xiao Wu. Sword Daluo was startled, his brows furrowing even deeper. This transformed soul beast below, is it brother Tang Hao's target? But since you noticed it so early, why didn't you capture it sooner? Instead of letting it swagger around in human society, a 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast is enough to make any soul master clamor for it. If it were an ordinary title being standing before Sword Daluo, he wouldn't even bother with it, perhaps even slashing at it with his sword and taking the soul beast away. He wouldn't have the leisure to ask such a question. However, in the Douluo Continent, strength reigns supreme, and Tang Hao is ultimately different. Not only is the opponent powerful, but there's still a connection between the Clear Sky sect and the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. It's not advisable to break ties now. That girl is like me and Yin. Tang Hao sighed, his gaze lingering on the past. Xiao Wu has already been exposed to Sword Daluo, there's no need to hide it any longer. After dealing with the current situation, he needs to talk to Xiao Wu and tell her how Yin concealed her identity, making her safer while cultivating among humans. Sword Daluo's heart tightened, and he pointed at Tang San, saying in a deep voice, could it be? That boy is your son with a blue-silver emperor. There are 3 boys in the group below. Excluding the Star Lua prince with a white tiger martial soul, only Ma Hongjin and Tang San remain. Ma Hongjin is clearly impossible. This fat man is not only unattractive, but his behavior is also somewhat sleazy. He obviously can't be Tang Hao's son. Upon hearing Sword Daluo's words, Tang Hao's expression darkened, and his aura suddenly erupted. However, considering Sword Douluo's strength, he slowly withdrew this aura. Even so, it still affected the surroundings. The air around them instantly turned cold. Brother Tang Hao, what is the meaning of this? Sword Douluo's expression was slightly cold, his soul power flowing slowly within him, constantly on guard against Tang Hao's sudden outburst. Brother Sword, please don't be offended. I was just thinking of Yin, and I couldn't control my emotions. Tang Hao calmed his heartbeat and said calmly. Ever since Yin was exposed, he had been living under the constant pressure of being wanted by the Spirit Hall. Originally, he had prepared to live in anonymity for the rest of his life, but who knew that his son Tang San would reveal his twin martial soul talents? This made his dormant heart beat again. Tang San was still young, and his talents had not yet matured, so he still needed to hide from outsiders for a while. If the person speaking to him at this moment was not Sword Douluo, he might have already smashed him with a hammer. Brother Tang Hao, please forgive my bluntness. Sword Douluo frowned, pondered for a moment, and then slowly looked at Xiao Wu. You have already experienced the tragedy of a human falling in love with a soul beast. Are you really going to stand by and watch your son repeat your mistakes? Chapter 71. Such a low-level tactic. Tang Hao, why don't you take advantage of the fact that your feelings for each other aren't too deep yet and end this ill-fated relationship? Sword Douluo finished speaking and looked directly into Tang Hao's eyes. You know the attraction of a 100,000-year spirit ring to a spirit master, so why make such an unwise choice? He had been single for decades and had never experienced love, so he was slightly puzzled. Ill-fated relationship. Haha, you call that an ill-fated relationship? Tang Hao suddenly burst into laughter, then his expression turned from laughter to anger. The clear sky hammer suddenly appeared in his hand, and his killing god domain expanded rapidly. His level 95 spirit power surged even more violently. When have my family ever had to act according to the whims of others? What about the spirit hall? What about the world? What about falling in love with a spirit beast? As long as I live, I will never let what happened between Yin and me befall my son. After Tang Hao finished speaking, he turned his gaze to Ning Rongrong. His main purpose in bringing Chen Xin here was to get her to keep Tang San's identity and Xiao Wu's secret. However, although the Clear Sky sect and the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect shared a common enemy, the Spirit Hall, they ultimately prioritized their own interests. Words alone might not be enough to dispel Chen Xin's desire for Xiao Wu. Moreover, the fact that Xiao San was his son might be exposed. He needed to use some warnings to keep the Seven Treasure Glazed Tile sect and Chen Xin in check. Tang Hao's gaze swept over the crowd, focusing on the 9 Treasure Glazed Tile pagoda in Ning Rongrong's hand. The glazed pagoda in the girl's hand was extraordinary, having broken through the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile sect's level restrictions and become a 9 Treasure Glazed Tile pagoda. She was either a mutated peerless genius or the daughter of the current sect leader, Ning Fengzi. Judging from Chen Xin's words of persuasion, the other party might still have designs on Xiao Wu. He would use this girl to warn them. Tang Hao, what do you mean? Sensing Tang Hao's gaze, Sword Douluo's eyes flashed coldly, his aura surging, and the 7-kill sword beneath his feet trembled slightly. He hadn't expected that Tang Hao's personality would suddenly change so drastically in just a few words, even resorting to threatening him with Rongrong. As his aura gradually solidified, Sword Douluo's 7-kill domain slowly expanded, and his level 97 soul power surged forth. Brother Jian Chen, your purpose in coming here is to protect this girl below, isn't it? Tang Hao sensed the surging soul power fluctuations of Sword Douluo and his gaze froze. He hadn't expected Chen Xin to have already broken through the level 97 barrier. If the two sides really started fighting, given his current physical condition and the need to protect Tang San and Xiao Wu. Thinking of this, Tang Hao's gaze intentionally or unintentionally fell on Zhu Zhuqing next to Ning Rongrong. He discovered that this girl's aptitude was also quite good, even he had never seen her martial soul before. Moreover, she exuded a unique aura, and was likely a key talent being cultivated by the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Then let's add another bargaining chip. I never thought that the former Haoshan Douluo would stoop to using 2 children to threaten others. Sword Douluo's face was frosty, but anger rose within him. What a lowly tactic. Although Haoshan Douluo is incredibly powerful, and possesses the Haoshan sect's exploding ring technique which can temporarily boost his combat strength, potentially allowing him to fight opponents of higher levels, how could a powerhouse like Sword Douluo possibly back down because of a slight threat or a strong opponent? especially considering his cultivation has already reached level 97. Tang, how has the spirit hall shattered your composure and courage? Sword Douluo smiled contemptuously, his hair dancing without wind, and 9 spirit rings appeared one after another, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black, below his feet. Tang Hao was silent for a moment, and 9 spirit rings also appeared beneath his feet, but unlike Sword Douluo, his last ring was a blood-red 100,000-year spirit ring. There had been a time when he had indeed considered the pessimistic idea of spending the rest of his life as a drunkard. This thought stemmed from the overwhelming power of the spirit hall and his own despondent state of mind. Jin Zunji was dead, though Tang Hao hadn't killed him, but the spirit hall had pinned the blame on him, so he had indirectly avenged Yin. But when Tang San raised his spirit rings and presented them to him, he understood. He decided to live a few more years, to protect Tang San, nurture him into talent, watch him rebuild the sect's glory, and help him and Yin avenge themselves against the spirit hall. Brother Jian Chen, I truly cannot defeat the spirit hall, but can the 7 treasure glazed tile school, like the spirit hall, be unafraid of my mad revenge? Tang Hao thought of many things in an instant, then continued to increase his stakes. He needed a promise from Sword Douluo. I only need that your 7 treasure glazed tile school not reveal a single thing about Tang San and Xiao Wu, and that you will not attack them in the future. Sword Douluo was truly at a loss for words. He hadn't expected that the mighty Haoshan Douluo would abandon even the last shred of dignity in front of him. But if he continued to attack, it might lead to an outcome neither side wanted. However, if he didn't intervene, Tang Hao's demands, that the 7 treasure glazed tile school not reveal information about Tang San and Xiao Wu, nor attack them, were clearly unreasonable. This wasn't because he was reluctant to part with his 100,000-year-old soul beast, but because the sect's current strategy was to join the spirit hall. Moreover, he had already revealed his martial soul rings, domain, soul power, and killing intent. If you were to withdraw them now, it would seem as if you were truly afraid of the other side. If Tang Hao sensed his concerns and realized that the 2 children were his weakness, Sword Douluo's mind raced, then his body froze, his expression blank, and his neck stiffly turned, focusing his gaze and aura on Tang San and Xiao Wu. At that moment, he understood. Tang Hao's expression changed, his heart pounding with shock. He hadn't expected someone as refined as Jian Daochen to resort to threatening others with a child, just like him. Sword Douluo stiffly turned to Tang Hao. Even the mighty Haoshan Douluo is willing to use such low-level tactics. What's wrong with me learning a thing or two? The 2 top experts from the continent remained silent, locked in a quiet standoff. Your 7 treasure glazed tile schoolgirl is going to suffer. Brother Sword. Are you still going to stand here and watch? At this moment, Zhu Xiuqing was fighting Daimyu Bei, whose shockwave was heading towards Ningrongrong. Sword Douluo's eye twitched, his fingers trembled slightly, and he was about to intervene. But then the situation took a turn for the better. Seeing that Zhu Xiuqing had not only saved Ningrongrong but also injured Daimyu Bei, Sword Douluo laughed heartily. You don't need Haoshan Douluo to worry about me. I believe the disciples of the 7 treasure glazed tile school are no weaker than others. Tang Hao's stiff face twitched slightly. Just as he was about to give up, the situation below took a dramatic turn. Tang San and the others were about to join forces. Brother Jian Chen, your 2 girls from the 7 treasure glazed tile school are really going to suffer. Tang Hao's usually expressionless face broke into a rare smile. He had won. Sword Douluo's eyelids twitched, one hand clenched into a fist in his sleeve, his mind racing as he tried to come up with a solution. But before he could decide on a plan, he caught a glimpse of a familiar figure rapidly approaching the Xiao family in from afar. Although the figure had changed slightly, possessing an appearance and aura far surpassing others, Sword Douluo recognized him at a glance as Li Sun. Sword Douluo felt reassured, let out a long sigh, and smiled at Tang Hao. No rush, if Haoshan Douluo is in a hurry, you can go down and take a look first. Tang Hao was taken aback. He naturally couldn't go down before Chen Xin, then frowned and fell into thought. But how could the 2 little girls below, one an agility-based attacker and the other a support-based attacker, possibly defeat Xiao San and his group of 4? Could it be that the agility-based girl, aided by the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda, had a hidden trump card to solve the current trouble? Since Brother Jian Chen isn't in a hurry, then I'm even less in a hurry. Let's observe first. Sword Douluo's lips curled into a smile as he looked down at the figures below. At this moment, Li Sun was moving quickly through the streets of Soto City. He was already far past the agreed time. If he didn't quicken his pace, the interrogations from his family would surely intensify. Xiaogang, the map shows it's just ahead. Li Sun put away the map. He had found this agreed-upon location unintentionally on an intelligence map. Chapter 72: A mistake every man in the world makes. Li Sun continued on his way and soon arrived near the Cao family inn. The street was already packed with a dense crowd, like a human wall. Curiosity piqued, Li Sun quickly tiptoed and craned his neck to peer inside. However, the crowd was too dense, obstructing his view. Unable to see clearly, he had to rely on his soul power to force his way through. Excuse me, beautiful lady, your steamed bun got knocked off. Who's touching my butt? I'm a man. Li Sun kept his head down and struggled to get through the crowd. Before he could even see what was going on, he heard a smug and arrogant voice. Trying to gang up on us? Then the four of us will play with you too. Looking in the direction of the voice, he saw a chubby boy in red, head held high, confronting Zhu Xiuqing and Ning Rongrong. Li Sun surveyed the scene, taking in the entire area, his eyes narrowing instantly. At this moment, Ma Hongjin, along with Dai Mubei, Tang San, and Xiao Wu, were facing off against Zhu Xiuqing and her companion. Their positioning was quite interesting. Ma Hongjin and Dai Mubei were at the forefront, while Tang San and Xiao Wu were 2 steps behind, forming a line but barely noticeable. An outsider might have mistaken them for reinforcements hired by Ma Hongjin and Dai Mubei. Interesting, they really managed to avoid trouble. Li Sun chuckled, shaking his head as he walked towards Zhu Xiuqing and Xiao Wu. He only needed a glance to get a general idea of what was going on. Where did Grandpa Sword go? Li Sun was worried something like this might happen while he was away, which was why he had Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu return to the sect to find Sword Douluo for escort. You fatso, you're shameless, and you, that pure and innocent thing. Ning Rongrong's face flushed with emotion as she pointed at Tang San and the others. Were you bullied? Li Sun silently walked slowly to their side. Hearing the familiar voice, Ning Rongrong and Zhu Xiuqing's heart skipped a beat, and they quickly looked behind them. They saw a handsome man with an extraordinary air about him, smiling at them. Brother, you're back. Ning Rongrong's eyes flashed with amazement, then her face lit up with joy. She rushed to Li Sun's side and hugged his arm tightly. Brother, if you hadn't come back, Xiuqing and I would have been bullied to death by those 4 shameless scoundrels, Ning Rongrong whispered in Li Sun's ear, embellishing the whole story. Brother, you have to help me get revenge. That Dai Mubei is really wicked. If it weren't for Xiuqing, I might not be seeing you now. Oh, and that lewd fat guy and that hypocrite called Xiao-san too. Li Sun smiled and used his free hand to ruffle Ning Rongrong's hair, then looked at Zhu Xiuqing. What Rongrong said was a bit exaggerated, but it's still fairly accurate. A flash of joy crossed Zhu Xiuqing's eyes as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear before gracefully walking to Li Sun's side. Are you injured? Li Sun frowned slightly, looking at Zhu Xiuqing so close to him. A slight smile played on Zhu Xiuqing's lips. No, I was just a little short of breath. Don't push yourself. Li Sun gently took Zhu Xiuqing's hand and probed her body with his soul power. It's alright, it's not as outrageous as Rongrong said, he's just a soul venerable. How could I have been injured by him? Zhu Xiuqing's cheeks flushed slightly, but she didn't pull her hand away, letting Li Sun's soul power nourish her meridians. She felt that Li Sun's healing ability seemed to have improved again. Even though his soul power had only circulated within her body once, Zhu Xiuqing felt much lighter. How, Zhu Xiuqing, so that's why you didn't come looking for me. Turns out you really hooked up with this kid. Li Sun's posture, with one woman on each arm, really provoked Dai Mubei, and Zhu Xiuqing's soul master remark almost made him lose his mind. At this moment, his eyes were bloodshot, his devil pupils staring intently at the 3 of them, and the soul power within his body was like a volcano about to erupt. You're quite something, kid. Ma Hongjin pointed left and right with jealousy and bitterness in his heart. With a girl from the 7 Treasure Glazed tile school, you still managed to hook up with Dai Mubei's fiancée. Ma Hongjin only dared to dream of such a thing. Mubei, calm down. It's not worth getting angry over such a shameless woman. Tang San's eyes were sharp. He had observed Li Sun's subtle details through his purple demon eye and recognized Li Sun as the boy who had insulted his teacher, Xiaogang. Originally, the matter of his teacher had been sealed away in the deepest part of his memory. After all, although Xiaogang was mentally provoked by Li Sun, He didn't suffer any substantial physical harm. Tang San, though momentarily enraged and wanting to kill, later felt it wasn't worth it. He just hadn't expected that the same young man from before would reappear before him today, even stealing Daimyo Bei's fiancée. This person was constantly going against those around him. He had originally planned to let him go, but the young man insisted on walking the path of death. Tang San shook his head helplessly. Indecent? Zhu Qing and I are completely innocent now, unlike Daimyo Bei who plays around so much, going to hotels every day for different kinds of entertainment. Li Sun gave Tang San a deep look, then glanced at Zhu Xiuqing, whose lips were tightly pressed together. Besides, what right does this kind of useless waste of his cultivation have for Zhu Qing to fulfill her engagement with him? Daimyo Bei is right here now. I think we should annul this damn engagement. Li Sun had considered this matter long ago. Zhu Xiuqing was, after all, a girl, and her reputation was quite important to her. Even if she hadn't brought it up, Li Sun couldn't let her suffer for his own selfish desires. He had originally planned to resolve this matter when he passed through Shrek on his way back, but he hadn't expected Yin's hometown to be so far away, which delayed him a bit. You call me trash? I reached level 37 in soul power at 15, and I'm a prince of Starluo. If I inherit the throne, she'll be the empress? Daimyo Bei laughed angrily, 3 soul rings flashing beneath his feet. What do you have to compare with me? With your current strength and ambition, I estimate your chances of ascending the throne are 0. Besides, not everyone covets the position of empress. Li Sun glanced at Daimyo Bei and smiled as he asked Zhu Xiuqing beside him, don't you agree, Xiuqing? Zhu Xiuqing hadn't looked at Daimyo Bei once. Hearing Li Sun's question, she smiled and nodded. I feel like this kind of life is pretty good, Miss Zhu Xiuqing. Although Mu Bei made a mistake, he only made a mistake that all men in the world make. As long as you stay by Mu Bei's side and urge him on. Tang San walked to Daimyo Bei's side with a smile and patted his shoulder. I believe Mu Bei will definitely change. With your talents, if you can work together, reaching the pinnacle of power in Starluo shouldn't be too difficult. Although Tang San didn't know the rules for inheriting the throne in Starluo, he figured it was nothing more than the usual sibling rivalry. He already knew about Daimyo Bei's strength and aptitude, and with the equally astonishing Zhu Xiuqing, he didn't think there was a more outstanding heir among the Starluo royal family's generation. Moreover, his argument wasn't just superficial, it also aimed to sow discord between Li Sun and Zhu Xiuqing. After all, neither men nor women could escape the desire for power. Leaving aside the cruelty of the Starluo royal family's power struggles, let's just talk about what you said. A mistake that all men make. Making such a mistake once or twice might be forgiven, but what's wrong with Daimyo Bei making it every day? Li Sun grinned, looking at Tang San. Would you make such a mistake? Chapter 73 Tang San, I'll give you a red envelope sometime. A cold glint flashed in Tang San's eyes, and his hand on Daimyo Bei's shoulder stiffened. His expression darkened as he looked at Li Sun. Of course I wouldn't make such a mistake, but the way you're currently surrounded by women seems to coincide somewhat with what I said. At this moment, Li Sun's left arm was held by Ning Rongrong, and his right hand was holding Zhu Xiuqing's hand. From an outsider's perspective, it truly looked like a scene of enjoying the blessings of having 2 wives. Haha, Tang San, I should thank you for your words that woke me up. Because I'm not a saintly moral saint like you, I've naturally made a mistake that all men make, and I even wanted to repeat this mistake. Li Sun laughed, releasing her soft hand and pulling Zhu Xiuqing into his arms. Besides, I've never claimed to be a moral gentleman. I'm just an ordinary person who doesn't want to let go of someone I like. Xiuqing, wrong, will you forgive me for this mistake? Zhu Xiuqing was stunned by Li Sun's sudden outburst. Her face flushed, and her ears were ringing. Her hands hung awkwardly in midair. After a moment, Zhu Xiuqing regained her senses slightly, one hand supporting herself on Li Sun's chest, the other on his waist. In her upbringing, as long as a man was ambitious, she could accept minor flaws like being a womanizer. Huh? Brother, what are you doing? Ning Rongrong's mouth gaped open, stunned by Li Sun's actions. Her large eyes darted back and forth between Li Sun and Zhu Xiuqing, her mind in turmoil. Her arms around Li Sun began to loosen slightly. She had initially thought Li Sun would choose between her and Zhu Qing. She hadn't expected him to be so bold, wanting to have both of them. Ning Rongrong was now incredibly conflicted, wanting to let go and leave several times, yet reluctant to part. She and Li Sun had lived together for 6 years, whether there was love or not, there was definitely affection. Rongrong, don't move, Hold on tighter, they're all watching. Li Sun noticed Ning Rongrong's movement, beads of sweat appearing on his forehead. He smiled, his lips remaining perfectly still. Huh? Oh, Ning Rongrong was startled, then reacted, breaking into a wide smile. Releasing her arms from Li Sun, Ning Rongrong wrapped her arms around his waist, lightly tickling the back of Zhu Xiuking's hand when they touched. After doing this, Ning Rongrong made a face at Tang San and the others, then wore a blissful expression. This was a crucial moment. How could she let her brother lose face in public? Thank goodness. Li Sun breathed a sigh of relief, tightly embracing Ning Rongrong's waist with his left arm. He flashed a bright white smile at Dai Bei, Tang San, and Ma Hongjin. Tang San, I'll give you a big red envelope another day. Hey. Dai Bei, why are you making a six gesture to Tang San? The actions of Li Sun and his companions not only stunned Tang San and his group, but also aroused envy and jealousy among the surrounding onlookers. Good lad, that's how a man should be, a burly man in his 40s shouted excitedly, his eyes gleaming. How, is that what a man should be like? You want to make a mistake too? Come on in the house, if you can satisfy me today, you can make any mistake you want. A voluptuous woman grabbed the big man's ear and said through gritted teeth. Hey. I was wrong, wife, I absolutely won't make this mistake. That guy is obviously no good, I definitely can't learn from him. The big man was startled and nervously clung to a pillar, his expression full of resistance. Pa. Look at this is what happens when you make a mistake. If you're not capable enough, you'd better tighten your belts, the voluptuous woman spat disdainfully. Haha, people around them laughed. The young man glanced cautiously at his girlfriend beside him, his expression somewhat eager. I'd like to challenge myself. How? Okay. Anyway, there are plenty of good-for-nothings like you. I'll find another one, and you can keep making mistakes. The young woman ignored the young man's desperate pleas and turned away. Why can't I have such a good thing? I'm going to burn those three to ashes. Ma Hongjin looked at the three people tightly embracing each other, his jealousy overflowing. If he had Li Sun's appearance, he wouldn't need to go to brothels to satisfy his lust, he could just make a few more mistakes. Pa, he's really no good. My third brother is much better, he's always been virtuous. Xiao Wu rolled her eyes, her gaze softening as she looked at Tang San. Since meeting Dai Bei and Ma Hongjin, she felt that Tang San was now truly pure and innocent. Li Sun's current actions only highlighted Tang San's noble character, as bright as the moon. Bei, Li Sun is trying to sow discord between us. Don't fall for his tricks. Tang San's face darkened. He hadn't expected his words to open a new door for Li Sun. He and Dai Bei were still studying together for many years, and now he had backfired. He needed to find an opportunity to make amends quickly. How, I know. Dai Bei's chest heaved violently, his teeth grinding together, as he glanced at Tang San without a trace of emotion. Even without today's encounter, I reckon these three adulterers would have gotten together sooner or later. Little San, today I want to cripple them all. You'll help me, right? Tang San hesitated, slightly taken aback. Bei, there are too many people here, it's not suitable to kill them. We need to plan carefully. From Dai Bei's words, it seemed he wanted to deal with Li Sun and the other two immediately. However, it was daytime, and countless people were watching. Crippled Li Sun and the other two would be difficult to handle. After all, the kingdom had laws, and behind them stood one of the continent's top sects. Seeing Tang San hesitate, Dai Bei's lips curled into a smile as he raised his right hand, missing 3 fingers. Little San, I won't force you. But we Shrek Academy have a saying, those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre, right, fatty? Ma Hongjin cracked his neck, revealing an arrogant expression, 2 yellow spirit rings appearing beneath his feet. I've had my eye on this kid for a long time. 3rd spirit skill, White Tiger Vajra transformation. Dai Bei roared, then shot towards Li Sun and the other two, as if certain they would come to his aid. Ma Hongjin's obese body followed closely behind, purple light surging around him. Phoenix possession. Third brother, Xiao Wu turned to look at Tang San. Tang San's face showed helplessness as he summoned blue-silver grass with his right hand, 3 spirit rings appearing beneath his feet, 2 yellow and 1 purple. Dai Bei had been too impulsive. With his poison-making skills and hidden weapon techniques, he could have easily found a hidden opportunity to eliminate Li Sun and the other two from the world. However, Dai Bei and Ma Hongjin have already made their move. If he doesn't join in, and this matter spreads throughout the academy, it could negatively impact the teacher's impressions of him. First soul skill, blue-silver entanglement. Chapter 74 Wood release, the birth of the Sea of Trees. Tang San's first spirit ring lit up. Dozens of blue-silver grasses rapidly extended along the ground, heading straight for Li Sun. First spirit skill, blue-silver entanglement. Seeing Tang San make his move, Xiao Wu also immediately launched an attack. Her strength was close combat, and she was still some distance away from Li Sun, so she needed to get closer to have a chance to attack. 9 treasures spin out with glazed glass. First is strength, second is speed, third is spirit. Although Li Sun and the other two appeared to be showing affection, their attention was actually focused on Tang San and the others' movements. Seeing Dai Bei and the others make their move, Ning Rongrong quickly turned around, gracefully circling behind Li Sun, and at the same time summoned her martial spirit. The 3-colored light instantly entered Li Sun and Zhu Xiaogang's bodies. First spirit skill, instant flash. A sharp sword appeared in Zhu Xiaogang's hand, and she twirled the sword before thrusting it at Xiao Wu, her figure disappearing instantly. Trusting Li Sun's strength and with Ning Rongrong's support, she directly chose the only female companion in Dai Bei's group as her opponent. The nearby streets are too crowded and too narrow, it's really difficult to use large-scale skills. 3 spirit rings, 1 yellow and 2 purple, appeared in succession beneath Li Sun's feet. Although his current cultivation level wasn't very high, his spirit rings were extremely impressive compared to those of the Shrek Academy members present. My god! That kid's second spirit ring is 1,000 years old. How did he do that? A passerby exclaimed. The onlookers were excited, such a free spirit battle was a rare sight. I originally thought those young people were already rare geniuses, but this young man is the real monster. Those young people aren't bad either, they're already soul masters at such a young age. Everyone in the arena was amazed. Dai Bei, Tang San, and the others also narrowed their eyes upon seeing this. Tang San was relatively calm, having witnessed Li Sun acquiring spirit rings before. But Dai Bei, Ma Hongjin, and Xiao Wu's pupils were all greatly shocked. The 3 of them were shocked that Li Sun would be so audacious as to absorb a second spirit ring that was beyond his level. There's a limit to how many spirit rings a spirit master can absorb. How many years they can absorb depends entirely on their own physical limits. Li Sun wasn't just absorbing beyond his level, he was risking his life. He could easily explode and die during the absorption. Wood release, tree sea birth. Li Sun didn't give them time to think. He clapped his hands together, his chakra rapidly circulating, and lightly tapped the ground with his right foot. The blue brick slabs paving the street in front of them were instantly blown away, and thick branches tore through the earth, transforming into thick vines that appeared before them. These vines rolled like earth dragons, swarmed like snakes, and surged like a flood. In a single exchange, they shattered and swallowed the dozens of blue-silver vines that Tang San had attacked, and then, with undiminished force, surged towards Dai Bei and the others. Tang San froze, seeing his dozens of blue-silver vines barely make a splash. Is this Li Sun's spirit ability? Though it's a tree, its attack method is somewhat similar to my blue-silver grass. And it's not only thicker but also much more agile. But even so, it couldn't possibly destroy my blue-silver grass instantly. Could it be the resilience of the lone bamboo? Tang San's expression was grave as he muttered to himself, and his spirit power is surging. It doesn't seem like he just entered the Soul Master realm. This shouldn't be. We clearly obtained our second spirit rings together. Could he have had a fortuitous encounter that allowed him to quickly increase his strength? As a twin spirit master, his cultivation speed was naturally far superior to that of ordinary soul masters, not to mention he had the mysterious heaven technique as an aid. Both of them obtained their second spirit rings on the same day. Logically speaking, even if Li Sun's second spirit ring was 1,000-year-old one, it would only be 1 or 2 levels higher than his, certainly not enough to overwhelm him. Something strange? Tang San's mind raced. He stopped in his tracks, and placed his hands on the 24 bridges under the moon at his waist. Tang San's plants were being crushed in both quality and quantity. To avoid any accidents, he decided to observe the situation and find an opportunity to use hidden weapons to finish off his opponents. Li Sun didn't use large-scale ninjutsu or force the trees to take shape. Instead, he manipulated the tree branches to simulate the entanglement of blue-silver to form wooden vines. However, this scale was slightly larger than that of blue-silver grass. White Tiger blazing light wave, because he was rushing too fast. Dai Bei was the first to be hit by Li Sun's skill. Facing the overwhelming sea of trees, his pupils shrank, and he hurriedly used his soul skill to defend. A white energy was spat out from Daimyo Bei's mouth. At this time, he had the amplification of his third soul skill, and the power of his second soul skill was much greater than usual. As soon as the white energy touched the extending vines, it destroyed them like dry leaves, leaving behind a huge amount of wood fragments before continuing to advance. Silver-headed wax spear, easily defeated, a cold smile appeared on Daimyo Bei's lips. He had been startled when he saw the plants surging like a tide on the street. He had thought he was facing a plant flood. Seeing the destructive power of his skill, he felt a sense of relief, a hint of contempt flashing in his eyes. But before Daimyo Bei could seize the opportunity to charge forward, he froze in place. He saw his second soul skill, after advancing a short distance, be instantly buried by the surging vines behind him. Daimyo Bei's pupils constricted, and he quickly retreated, his joy at having just shattered the plants in front of him vanishing. Impossible, fourth brother Dai, I'll help you. First soul skill, Phoenix Fire Line. Mo Hongjin grinned strangely at Daimyo Bei's actions. Against ordinary soul masters, he certainly wouldn't have a chance to shine. But against plant-type soul masters, he was more than capable. Ma Hongjin's first yellow soul ring lit up, and he suddenly opened his mouth. A thin, purplish-red flame, like an extended line of fire, instantly passed over Daimyo Bei and burned the surging plants. The fire line, distorting the air, made contact with the surging plants, producing a crackling sound. A billow of smoke rose instantly. Ma Hongjin's eyes lit up, and he quickly swayed his head left and right, controlling the flames he spewed from his mouth to sweep back and forth. Although the flames he exhaled were small, they formed a raging wall of fire as he controlled their direction with his head. A large tree rose from the ground beneath Li Sun's feet, supporting him as he slowly ascended. Looking down at the busy Ma Hongjin, Li Sun chuckled. After being tempered by both the immortal grade and the ice and fire yin-yang well, the plants he summoned had long since achieved immunity to both ice and fire. Although this wasn't absolute immunity, it was more than enough to deal with Ma Hongjin at this moment. Li Sun lightly stomped on the tree, and chakra instantly flowed through the tree branches into every root of the plant underground. Empowered by the chakra, these plants instantly became incredibly active, breaking through the wall of fire and extending straight towards Ma Hongjin and Daimyo Bei's faces. Just as Ma Hongjin was unleashing his flames with great force, hundreds of thick, blackened vines reached out towards him. What? Ma Hongjin's face paled in surprise, and his obese body quickly retreated. He hadn't expected Li Sun, a plant-type soul master, to be unaffected by his flames. White Tiger blazing light wave, seeing Ma Hongjin about to suffer, Daimyo Bei quickly intervened, shattering the vines that had already reached Ma Hongjin's face. Fatty, this kid can control too many plants, this can't go on. Daimyo Bei took a step forward and stood beside Ma Hongjin. I don't know why, but this kid's plants seem immune to fire, Ma Hongjin complained. It's alright, let's attack him directly. Daimyo Bei, his golden hair flowing, glared at Li Sun standing in the tree, roared, and shot forward. Second soul skill, Phoenix Reborn in Flames. Ma Hongjin's body erupted in purple flames from within. He followed behind Daimyo Bei, charging towards Li Sun. Chapter 75 Native Chicken with Long Tail Feathers. Daimyo Bei's face paled in horror. He flailed his tiger claws left and right, attempting to sever the surrounding vegetation with his 8-inch long claw blades. Crack, a dull thud. The sharp claw blade struck the thick vines, leaving only a deep mark. Moreover, this mark was healing at a visible speed. Daimyo Bei's pupils contracted. He struck again, severing the vine, then quickly swatted away the vines attacking from the side. It's even more resilient than Tang San's blue silver grass. And it heals faster. The vines and roots summoned by Li Sun were somewhat similar to Tang San's blue silver grass. Daimyo Bei had fought Tang San at the Rose Hotel and knew that Tang San's blue silver grass also possessed resilience and healing properties. However, compared to Tang San's blue silver grass, Li Sun's summoned plants were clearly superior. Fourth brother Dai, this isn't working. Stop wasting your soul power and clear a path for me. Just as Daimyo Bei was pondering, Ma Hongjin, his body ablaze with purple flames, swatted aside a plant that had reached out to him. Their strategy had been to attack Li Sun's main body. However, they hadn't expected to be trapped by the surrounding plants before they could even take a few steps forward. First soul skill, White Tiger Protective Barrier. A ring of white light suddenly erupted from Daimyo Bei's body. This light carried a tremendous impact, instantly forming a white shield that enveloped Liu, pushing away all the plants surging in from all directions. Fatty, stick close to me. Taking advantage of the skill's duration, Liu stepped forward, white tiger blazing light wave, a milky white energy ball shot out from his mouth, destroying the plants within a few meters in front of him, and Liu took the opportunity to advance a little further. With the enhancement of my third soul skill, the power of my second soul skill was comparable to level 40 soul master. It seems that to quickly destroy this kid's plants, the attack power needs to exceed this threshold. Using his second soul skill twice in a row to destroy the plants gave Liu a sudden realization. Haha, Liu, well done. Mo Hongjin laughed loudly at Liu's bravery and quickly followed. Along the way, he kept an eye on the weak points in Liu's defenses. Li Sun stood on the treetop, looking down at the two people striving towards him, then at the crowds gathered at both ends of the street. It's time to give them a boost, since gaining the extension characteristic of the Azure Vine, his martial soul had many more tricks up its sleeve. In a confined space, he no longer needed to worry about the maturity of the trees, he could directly extend saplings as an attack method. However, this crude method of using skills was more vulnerable than cultivating mature trees. Wood release, wood barrier. Li Sun's chakra flowed within him, and with a clap of his hands, the plants on both sides of the street quickly converged, forming a wooden wall woven from vines. Immediately afterward, Li Sun made a grasping motion with one hand, and the wooden wall instantly sprouted a dense array of sharp spikes. Behind this thorny wooden wall, a row of barricades was formed. Unlike traditional barricades, these had no beams or anchors, they were simply rows of slanted wooden spears growing from the ground. Having done all this, Li Sun flicked his finger, manipulating the trees to bring Ninjutsu to his side. He then surveyed the situation, using vines to block Liu and Ma Hongjin's retreat. Liu and Ma Hongjin had already reached the thorny wooden wall. Although somewhat surprised, their combat instincts kicked in, and they quickly reacted. They began unleashing their soul skills, disregarding their soul power, to destroy the obstacles in front of them. Meanwhile, Tang, after a brief pause, seemed to have figured something out. He used ghost shadow steps to swiftly climb onto the roof of a nearby house, attempting to bypass the obstacles Li Sun had set up on the street and attack him directly. Xiaogang, on the other hand, was locked in combat with Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu had reached level 30 Soul Master and acquired her third soul skill, teleportation. Although she was no match for Xiaogang, she occasionally used her second soul skill, charm, to control Xiaogang while dodging with her soul skills, so she hadn't shown any signs of defeat yet. Brother, what about Zhu Qing? Ninjutsu glanced at the tree branch hanging in the air below and looked at Li Sun anxiously. Seeing Ninjutsu's embarrassed look, Li Sun laughed and pulled her into his arms. I'll deal with these two annoying guys down there first. There's another one on the roof. Ninjutsu pointed to Tang, who was running quickly on the roof of a residential building. The distance between them wasn't far, and Tang could probably reach them from the side in no time. There's enough time. Li Sun's lips curled up. Liu's level 37 soul power seemed strong at this time, but it wasn't. Unable to get close, the only soul skill he could use to affect the situation was White Tiger Blazing Light Wave. And Ma Hongjin was even weaker. His current soul power is only level 29, and he doesn't even have a third soul ring. His fire, which could restrain plants, has lost its original effect. This leaves him with abundant soul power and skills, but nowhere to use them. White Tiger Blazing Light Wave, Liu spat out a milky white energy ball, then looked panting at the damaged wooden wall before him. He had used too many skills in a short time, and his soul power was almost depleted. Fortunately, it was all worth it. His soul skill had created a hole half a person's height in the wooden wall. Although the hole was healing at an extremely fast speed, once he passed through, he could face Li Sun head-on. Thinking of this, Liu smiled coldly and winked at Ma Hongjin. Ma Hongjin understood, his fat body quickly leaping over Liu and squeezing into the hole before it healed. Liu followed closely behind. Holy crap, Ma Hongjin squeezed out of the hole, saw the scene behind the wall, and his eyes widened in surprise. Because there were more than a dozen chevaux de frise in front of him, their tips all pointed at him. Retreat quickly. Ma Hongjin's fat body retreated rapidly, crouching low as he tried to retreat into the cave. Just then, Liu was about to emerge from the cave entrance. Seeing a plump buttock about to press against his face, Daimube frowned, a feeling of disgust rising in his heart. He quickly raised his hand to block Ma Hongjin's fat buttock. Daimube had already heard Ma Hongjin shout, so naturally he couldn't push the fat man out. But letting his face touch the fat man's buttock was also absolutely out of the question. He could only retreat first, making room for Ma Hongjin. Damn it, you, mother! Daimube, feeling the resistance behind him, Ma Hongjin looked at the chevaux de frise rapidly extending towards him and shouted hysterically. He immediately activated his second soul skill, Phoenix Rebirth, purple flame spreading around his body, his fat body quickly shrinking into a ball, turning around to face the attack with his hardest back swoosh swoosh swoosh. A series of sounds of flesh being pierced rang out. More than a dozen spears were thrust into Ma Hongjin's back and buttocks. Ma Hongjin curled up in the cave, his buttocks sticking up high, letting out a shrill scream. Haha, brother, I was just about to say that, this fat guy's martial spirit looks a lot like a chicken. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.